Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. It's Guerrilla Cricket, and we're back. And it's the first. Is it the first game in the qualifying?
It is.
First game of the Super 8s. We have South Africa versus the surprise package, the USA. They are playing in North Sound, Antigua. It doesn't look like it's going to rain, thank Christ for that. We've had a lot of rain to watch, considering they're in the West Indies. Strange time to pick a tournament in a rainy season, but there you go. I am joined by Andy Ward.
Hello.
And Messy Jez from the Weather Cave in Perth. He says it's 3 degrees, which isn't really that cold, but you know, I guess if you're Australian.
It is by Perth standards.
Yeah.
And it's 30. It's 31, going for 32 in Antigua, with what they call a real feel of 38 degrees. So it's pretty bloody warm, but no rain.
No rain. It's been getting up to 40 and 40, beyond 40 on the continent over here in Europe. People dying everywhere. It's bloody crazy. But anyway, enough of that. The USA won the toss, and they have stuck South Africa in. And South Africa go. Quinton de Kock, Reza Hendricks, Aidan Markram, Heinrich Klassen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Marco Janssen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, Henrik Nortiga, and they've included Tabrez Shamsi. Presumably they think there's more in it for the spinners here.
Well, Shamsi was in anyway. It's Maharaj they brought in for Do the Bartman.
Okay. Presumably they think Turn will be more useful. Flatter deck.
USA brought a spinner in as well.
Well, there you go. says it all. USA go. Stephen Taylor, Shan Jahangir, Andres Goose, Aaron Jones, Nitish Kumar, Corey Anderson, Harmeet Singh, Jasdeep Singh, Nostush Kenjigi. No, I don't think I've said that right, but hey. Ali Khan and Saurabh Netravalkar. Probably said that wrong too. But there you go. That's the Americans. They are the surprise package here, haven't they? By dint of beating Pakistan, they kind of got themselves through to the Super 8s.
Yes, whereas the host nation, they get to play in the West Indies.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone in the ICC thought for a moment that the USA would make the second stage.
No,
I
that's
mean,
very
never
true.
crossed their minds.
No, but it would be interesting to have Super 8s at that New York stadium, though, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't. It would have been at.
You really didn't
it's
like
a
that? I loved that
I
stadium.
did not. No, it was a complete lottery. You might as well go and play on a park pitch.
Well, it wasn't that much of a lottery. But
Yes, it was.
Well, it made fun anyway. That's what I will say. Sorry, people, we did miss the last 2 days we were supposed to broadcast. It was Father's Day on Sunday. There was a dead rubber, and we thought, Christ, we've done every day for the last 2 weeks. We'll have a couple of days off because there were 2 dead rubbers that day and the next day that we were supposed to cover. So we decided to take a little mid-series break. We're back. We're going to do the entire Super 8s as per always. In fact, I've got a crazy day. I'm in here at 3:30. I'm back here at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, you're doing tonight's game.
Yeah, and then well, this is, Tone is coming in, to be fair, tonight, and then tomorrow I'm doing the game at 3:30 again. So I've got 3 games in 24 hours essentially.
I think I'm probably on all of them with you.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, presumably you'll be going to bed after this, and then I'll see you when you're waking up. I'll have just snoozed on the sofa with a bit of luck for a couple of hours, and woken up and come here and hopefully make it through the game, and go and have some kit and come back again. Jesus. Like having a proper fucking job. Jesus Christ.
Pity they get paid.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Speaking of which, so what, do we expect this to play out that South Africa cruise past the USA? Now we're on what should be proper T20 wickets.
They haven't cruised past anybody so far. They played 4 games. The highest anybody's got against them is 109. But you'd only say they won one of those games anywhere near comfortably.
Yeah, they played all their games in New York though, didn't they?
No, 3 of them I think. I don't think the last one was in New York.
Oh, was that in Florida?
Possibly. But yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be a road from what I'm reading. It's still going to be a bit tricky. Both teams have put another spinner in. Obviously, we've seen more runs in the West Indies than certainly in New York, but it's still a bit of an unknown quantity this wicket. And
we're about to start, so I'm going to
no,
line
he's just
is he?
having a practice run.
Okay, well, we'll give it some jingles then. This man is batting.
Quinton de Kock has a name you can mock, but he's really quite useful at cricket. I have heard that he can open the bat, even if he's not keeping wickets.
Along with?
You wear a shirt, the yellow and green. Oh. Reza Hendricks, you are a run-scoring machine.
Yep, Reza Hendricks. And who's opening the bowling for the
I
American?
think it's the Oracle fellow. Yeah, Netravalkar. Yeah.
Netravalkar.
We're waiting here for you. Netravalkar, and whatever it is you do.
What's that from?
I don't recognise that one.
It's a TV theme or something.
Netravalkar works for Oracle. USA have a few part-time players. And got Virat Kohli out against India. One to take back to the office.
Indeed. Well, the Kock's going to face up to the first ball. I need to get my obligatory under on for the first wicket. That's guided down past the man at short third. There is a man behind him. It's going to be 1 run. Yes, Jason. That's it. Wonder Woman. There you go. Jason just put it back into my head. Run off the first ball. And Quinton de Kock is off the mark. Right.
I guess one thing for South Africa is none of their batsmen have had the opportunity to find any form whatsoever.
No, but it might do them the world of good to get on a pitch that at least resembles something they're used to.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it'd be interesting to see. But again, I don't think it will benefit the bowlers. I mean, bowling on that pitch in New York made them look like gods, and they are pretty good. But pace can go on a wicket that's truer, as you say.
Yeah.
Netivalkar is in. Oh, that one swung a little bit, then held its line, past the outside edge of Reza Hendricks, and there's no run.
Particularly for South Africa, who are playing them first, it's a tricky spot playing against the US. Run rate, you've got 3.
Yes.
The US are obviously the outsiders in the group. They could lose all 3 games. You could easily get a situation where the other 3 teams get 2 wins each, and it goes on run rate. But you can't just blaze away, because they can definitely cause you problems.
That's certainly true.
It's
It's noticeable there's a very strong wind blowing today too.
Well,
Is that out?
no, it's not out. It's driven straight to the man. At
Well,
cover.
they just loved the fielding so
they
much.
just love the fielding. Is that Aaron Jones?
Yes.
He looks rather cool, does Aaron Jones, I have to say.
He's been their top dude so far. Jones and Goose knocked the runs off against against Canada, and made big contributions against Pakistan.
Right, USA are 9-2. South Africa are 7-1 on.
Wow.
The run line is 169.5. That one comes back in again. Pace is he bowling at? High 80s, 70s. No run.
Did you say the run line's 169.5?
Yeah.
Well, I'd go over the run line, but I'd also take some money on the USA, because the odds are very generous, I think. In a 2-horse race in T20.
What, take the USA? Never. They're going to get hammered. That's my view anyway. Netivalkar is in. That one is driven nicely by Hendricks through the covers. What's the outfield like here? It's not the quickest. Will we get pulled in? Bit of relay fielding. They should get 2. They do. Will they get a wicket? They should do, shouldn't they? Runs at the fall of the first wicket. 25.5.
Yeah, you've got a few to play with.
Yeah, I've got a few to play with. It's not offering me yet. It's in between balls and they're slow.
This is the ground where England had both their wins too, isn't it?
Yes. The foreshortened one.
The pitch seemed to play all right then.
Yeah.
Turned a lot in that first game.
Into the pads. And Hendricks, who just works it out to mid-wicket. There's no run. 3 off the first over. 25.5. Oh. I'm going to take that. I'm not sure it's wise, but we shall see.
We have lots of people with us. Muttley was the first on board. Says, morning primates. Sat down with a homemade Thai curry and a pint of little boy's pop. Bring on an upset. Love and sausages. And thank you for the picture of the curry. For those who like the curry, I'm sure it looks delicious. Sagir has given us $5 Australian for a good old choke. Thank you, Sagir. I think you're joining us later, aren't you?
I think so, yes.
Winan Grundling says, South African here and nervous. Carl Herbert says, morning all, looks like a great day for the business end of the tournament. And Leah says, finally you're back. That shakes were getting pretty bad, not going to lie. What are the odds on Anthem time? What's that about? Comrades, good afternoon, says Parrot Badshaw. What's this? USA playing cricket, of all things, says Mog. I'll leave it to you.
Ali Khan is around the wickets. Hits the splice of Quinton Cock's bat. Goes up to mid-off. And there is no run.
Yeah, I think that stopped a little bit. And de Kock is doing the international mime for popped a little bit.
Yep. Well, it had decent bounce when England were playing here. It wasn't the easiest wicket to bat on, it was true. And one of the boundaries is really short, I think.
I'm not sure how much you could read into the second game, where it had been raining most of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
But it did certainly. Rashid was getting extravagant turn against Oman.
He was, wasn't he? He didn't do too bad against Namibia as well.
No, didn't they smack him?
In 1 over they got him a couple of 6s, I think, at the end. But they were so far behind then. Could have been that resigning thing I was talking about a couple of days ago. They were that far behind. That was clipped into the leg side. No run. South Africa being a bit cautious here.
Yeah, I think it's understandable after the struggles their batsmen have had in this tournament. But I was going to say they do need to work out quite quickly what's a good score here.
Yeah. Well, I guess against, what did England do in 10 overs against Namibia? I suppose it was a 10 over thrash at 120, which would imply 240. That one popped a little bit by the way that Reza Hendricks was, that was close to a run out. Even though it went to the man at point, it popped and he just played it square on the offside of Reza and they scuttled through for a quick single. Thrown at the batsman's end, Quinton de Kock. Might have been short if that had been a direct
Might have
hit.
bit. A little bit. Let's have another look.
Yeah, it's going past the stumps bat and it would have been close. It was on the line.
Yep.
A lot of hands on head from the USA cricketers.
Ooh.
5 for none. 1.3 overs done. Now that one was there for the hitting by Quinton de Kock. He's missed it. It's down the leg side. It'll be given as a wide, of course.
Bowling right arm round to de Kock, suggesting he doesn't really fancy he's going to swing the ball very much.
True, especially in the second over. Maybe he's allowing the wind's coming across that way, isn't it? Maybe he's going to try and drift it in from around the wicket from that extravagant angle.
Well, wouldn't you go over to the left-hander if that's what you were trying to do?
Well, yeah, you would do. But then maybe he thinks that I'm not good enough and he's going to pick me up into the stands 3 balls out of 6. That one's cut hard. Good bit of fielding at point.
No, very good bit of fielding.
Not wide enough for the man. I think there's been some hand slapping going on here. And that's no run.
USA have been very impressive in the field generally.
Well, that's one thing, I guess, you know. They have plenty of sports that they have very high levels at that you can transfer skills from to fielding, I'd have thought.
Well, if you're an underdog in cricket, it's the first thing you can work on and the first thing you can give 100% to.
Yep. Someone should tell Pakistan that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some harsh words attributed to Gary Kirsten.
Oh, now that's clipped in the air. That was down the leg side. He would have got a wide, and he's only going to get 1 for it because he didn't get it square enough to beat the man who's out at deep, long leg. Got away with that, really, did Ali Khan? For just 1 run.
Yeah, Pakistan who lost to the USA and were knocked out of the tournament as a result. I'm not sure how officially, he didn't say it in front of a press conference and cameras, but it was certainly attributed to Gary Kirsten saying that the players weren't fit enough and there wasn't enough unity in the team. They were at each other too much.
Yeah, Pakistan all over,
Certainly
isn't it? That's kind of what we expect from them. If they do ever get it together, it'll be. Now that's more like it. Reza Hendricks comes down the track, flat bats it over the top of covers, and in fact he flat bats it over the covers flat enough and long enough that it's gone all the way for 6 runs. First of the game, 13 for none after 2. Over to you, Messi.
Dave Barrett is with us. He sent us a meme of somebody rushing across the field carrying an AR-15 in hand, stars and stripes, bucket hat on head, and belief in our hearts. Go harder, USA. Nerd Snack, which I think is one of Leah's aliases, says, I'm currently working on my farewell video for Jimmy. Did one for Broad as well, but this one hits right in the feels, as Jimmy basically has been with me since I seriously got into cricket. Yes, July the 11th, we will be with you at Lord's for the first test match of the summer. And Mayank says, morning from rainy, miserable Houston. As you know, I fucking hate this dump of a city, but my company pays me way more than I deserve, so I'm obliged to come here. My heart wants USA, but I've bet on the Saffers, so come on, Saffers. Oh, that's a hard decision there. You've got...
Indeed. Who was that? Was that Mike? Okay, yeah, Houston. Anyway, that was cut by Quinton de Kock, the last ball, behind square, out to the man at deep backward point. It was 1 run. Reza Hendricks is going to face up to Netravalka. He's gone for just 4 runs and 7 balls. Left arm over. That's decent line, decent length. Not great pace, but good enough line that Reza can only just defend it out to cover, and there is no run. Yeah, we've got some news for you listeners. The flat is going to have to be sold. So Guerrilla Cricket may be in peril at the end of the summer.
Gorilla Towers is the flat to which he refers.
Yeah, Gorilla Towers is having to be put on the market, and so we need more of your help when it comes to patronage. Netravalka is in. That's pulled. Ooh, not particularly well timed by Reza. Fortunately, he got it inside a sort of hanging straightish mid-wicket, trying to cover the mid-wicket position, that sort of wide there. It was aerial for a while, but it was wide enough of him that they'll get back for 2, 16 for none. Yeah, so I went out. It could be a massive opportunity at the same time, but we may not be able to afford rent anywhere, the amount that we get in for Gorilla. And so we would really like you to, some more patrons over the summer. We'll be doing a lot of this shouting out, because if we can find a space, we only need a couple of 100 square foot, we can set up the studio. But in London, that's down, the track's gone straight up in the air. Reza Hendricks has got nowhere near it, but neither do we. Was it caught?
Yes, caught it, yeah.
Fucking cameraman didn't know what was going on. I assumed it was going to be caught. I think it's Corey Anderson, isn't it?
I think it is. The
You can tell by the unit size. It's Corey Anderson who's caught that. It's gone straight up in the air. Reza Hendricks.
And Bear's bet has come in.
And my bet has come in. Under 25 and a half, 16 for 1. Interesting. Trying to force it a little bit. Bat turned in his hands, a real toe end corner. It's gone straight up in the air. Corey Anderson's got underneath it, caught it very well, hands above head. And we have to say goodbye to Reza Hendricks.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says,
Corey Anderson was a bowler, wasn't he? He was a kind of all-rounder.
Yeah, kind of an all-rounder, yeah. Hendricks there, he went down the track, he was walking at Netravalka. He did it the ball before, and as you said, it was quite an unconvincing shovelly pull shot that he got past mid-wicket. He did it again and just didn't get close to it, went through with the shot anyway. That was the problem. And it may have stopped on him a little bit, that may be what he'll argue, but as I say, he wasn't very close to it, had a bit of a flail, and it went straight up in the air, was caught at mid-off.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Next man in.
Might still be South Africa's highest opening partnership.
Well, 16 probably is.
Yeah.
He's a winner. Playing his shots out in the sun. He's a stroker, not mediocre. He's no World Cup choker. He gets us moving with his runs. Woo! Aiden Markram.
South Africa want to put some kind of platform up for Stubbs and Klaasen and Miller.
Well, yeah, but you're the man who's...
Well,
yeah, come on, Andy, make up your fucking mind. That's guided down towards third man. There's no run. They've only lost one wicket.
Adaptable. You be adaptable.
42 and a half for the next wicket. I'll try that. Again, I don't think that'll come in, but we shall see.
I should say, Lear's corrected me. The first test against the West Indies starts on the 10th of July, not the 11th. Thank you, Lear. Sagir says, greetings everyone. Glad to see you're all back here after a brief hiatus. Mog says, note that Khan's jingle is also based on an old superhero TV show.
Well, Netravalka has got a wicket, 1 for 7. Gets a little bit of swing, decent line outside Quinton de Kock's off stump. He just defends it back to the bowlers, no run. De Kock's 4 off 6, Markram's 1 off 1, 17 for 1 after 3 overs. South Africa not exactly scooting along. Only 4 runs off that last over. Over to you, Missy.
Martley says, no! He's referring to the flat. And Sagir says, bloody hell, not the flat. Sagir says, you are in august company then, Leah. One of my college mates also shares that day with you, which is the 10th of July. Leah points out that it's her birthday and Sonny Gavaska's birthday. Carl Herbert says, unit size, Anderson bigger than the average bear. Indeed he is. And Leah confirms that Nerdstack is indeed one of her accounts. But switching between accounts has become almost impossible because Twitter's
unless you pay for it, yeah.
Well, that's aerial for a little bit, wide and swinging, and in the arc for Aiden Markram, who swings and hits it through the covers all the way down the boundary. I think this is the first of the day for these.
4 on the floor, and one more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
All these batsmen just glad to get a decent bat on ball and be able to time it reasonably well.
Jasdeep. Oh, I didn't play as a jingle, did I? Is it Jasdeep Singh, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Jasdeep Jesse Singh.
I want a bat like Jesse Singh. I want a ball like him. Jesse Singh, often called Jesse Singh. Jesse Singh. Jesse Singh.
Skill scale.
Something that they've completely made up.
Yep. Just clipped into the leg side. Past the man at short mid wicket. Out to a wide-ish mid-on the edge of the circle. They go to single. 22 for 1. Rate has crept just over 6 in the power play. The 4th over. When are we having a change? End of the 5th.
It's going to be an interesting group, this one. You know, there's not much between West Indies, South Africa and England.
No, it is. It's the group of death, really, isn't it? I mean, you expect Australia and India to go through from the other group.
You would, although Afghanistan can certainly throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, they can do. Very much so.
West Indies look like they're starting to hit their straps yesterday too, which is
quite ominous for tonight. And this is it. I mean, that's pulled by Quinton de Kock. He's not got enough on it, but he's got enough to hit a vacant cow corner for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Bit high on the bat.
And maybe targeting Jasdeep a little bit. Or he's bowled a couple of loose balls.
Well, that was kind of a half tracker at sort of 78, 79 miles an hour.
We got a super chat from Stephen Kelp for €2 because he got a free sandwich at work.
Oh, now that's been pulled. That's gone a lot further. That has made it into the stands. And yeah, you could be right. I think he's bowling the wrong length here. 6 runs.
I actually think that was pretty much a length ball. Oh dear, it's a no ball as well.
Oh dear, oh dear.
And I think de Kock's just after him, to be honest. He's bowling again. He's bowling with the right arm round in towards him so he can hit to the leg side.
Yeah.
I hope it's like there was an over in the match day before yesterday. I can't even remember who it was between or who bowled it, but it went for 36 runs and included a no ball that went for 6.
What's that in the West Indies game? They scored the most runs.
I think so.
Yeah.
There was 16 runs off the first ball alone.
Jesus.
Not ideal, no.
No. Well, it is a free hit. And you can't be bowling there to Quinton de Kock. It's on his pads, on his hip, and it's hip height, and you know he's going to batter you. So the leg, so the free hit's gone for 6 as well. 39 for 1. My second bet is looking like going out the window in the space of about 4 balls here.
Okay, well, win some, you lose some.
Indeed.
But yeah, it just really bowled the same ball even worse on a leg stump line. He's going to have to try something different.
Yeah, this has really got the Saffers going this over.
Yeah, if de Kock plays himself into form, it changes things a lot for South Africa.
There's 21 off the over with 4 balls. 21 off the first 4 balls of the over. He's gone over the wicket. Oh, now that one's gone straight up in the air. Has it gone far enough? I don't think it has. Yes, it has. Damn, that was potentially my bet, but there you go. It's one of these. So this over has gone for 18, 19 and 9. 28 so far with 1 ball to go. That was a bit toe-endy.
It was.
Big bats these days.
But he's just helping these on their way. The bowler is just feeding them into his arc.
Yeah. Shaking his head.
Yeah, well, I think de Kock's just a bit too good for this bowler.
Yes, and this will get him going.
Certainly should do. I mean, this would be good news for South Africa if they can get a batsman or 2 into form.
Aye, I might go over the full of the next wicket. Well, that's played out into the covers. It'll be No run to end the over. It's a dot. 45 for 1. That over went for 28 runs. Oof.
Yeah, he came over the wicket for the last ball. I think he had to.
Dave Barrett, with Ben, says, Gorilla Tires for sale? No! And Tawit says, maybe you should team up with Totally Wired Rad. I think they're looking for a new home, and their owner, Eddie Pillar, is a big cricket fan. There's something to look at, Bear.
Who are they and where are they? That's the problem.
Got no idea. Totally Wired Rad, music is life. Totally Wired Radio, so playing the soundtrack to your life. The question from Ravi Natarajan saying, are you guys going to cover the cricket match between Britain and India played in Derbyshire Cricket Club for deaf cricketers? And we just don't have the resources to stretch to other games, I'm afraid, but Leah points out that it's covered live by the ECB on YouTube. So there you go.
Yeah, we can't do stuff like that.
And can't be everywhere.
No.
Stephen Kock says, fancy meeting you all here.
Well,
where else but here?
That's driven up to long off. Fifth over start, so I'll change at the end of this over. I think pretty much Jason comes in and me and you swap positions. Kenji, don't know how you pronounce his name, but he is bowling. Do we have a jingle for him? I don't think we do. I might have to search for him. He's left arm round.
See if there's any spin.
That one doesn't spin.
No.
It goes on with the arm and it's played up to long on by Quinton de Kock, and that is no run.
Single.
Sorry, there is a single. What am I on about?
Yeah, 27 off 12 for de Kock. I mean, having an over that goes for 28 in the power play makes a big difference.
It does.
That's why we paid the big bucks for that kind of insight.
Oh, for crying out loud, what does Tony do with my fucking computers when he comes in here? It's played out.
Oh, it's funny to hear you say that.
Played out into mid-wicket and there's no run.
I think he just tries to make them work.
Well, he doesn't do a very good job at it.
God, I hope he's not listening or you'll hear about it.
Even when the other one's not here, you're abusing each other.
Yeah, well, I know. That's played out. Wide and mid-on, they got a single.
Tidy enough from Kenjige, but no particular spin. I mean, he may not be a big spinner of the ball anyway.
Farong's with us, says, greetings all. In sport, I can't support either South Africa or the USA, so I'll be supporting the TV umpire. Fair enough.
Carts that one over backward square leg, and there's going to be 4 more.
Bum, 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 bum. One of these.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
Right.
That's okay, keep doing that. I'll cut. And it's through the gap past the umpire, who's lazily standing at point, and into the boundary for 4 more to complete the 5th over. It's 56 for 1. Couple of boundaries there after a tidy start from Kenjige.
Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
But a couple of good overs have sent South Africa to 56 for 1, looking a bit ominous for the USA.
I'll do a couple of messages while we change over. Peggy Bungfinger says, so disengaged with this tournament, the widely ranging time zones, the venues, the feeling that it isn't really a proper World Cup, just a diverting exhibition. Enjoying it, but I'm not invested. Matley says, agreed, it's not even a diverting exhibition, it's that poor. If it were for the primates and the kittens, I probably wouldn't bother. And Sagir says, Quentin playing a completely different game here compared to the other South African players thus far. And there's a tweet for you from Farong to read out, and I'll hand over to you, Jason. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we had Ali Khan's jingle before. We can have it now after this ball. He's going to back over the wicket. It's a good line and length, and he gets a reward as it played to cover for no run.
It's this one.
Believe it or not, here's Ali Khan, first American
he in the IPL? I guess he might have been in the squad somewhere.
I think he was, not this year, but last year.
No, that might make more sense. That's another good length ball, and it's half a bat up to mid-on from Markram. But, as our tweeter pointed out, De Kock is back on strike now, and he has been playing a bit of a different game to the rest of them.
Yep, he certainly has. The run line has moved up to 199 and a half.
It was 169 at the start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's partly a good power play and partly having a look at the wicket and not seeing too many demons in that.
Yeah, spinners aren't coming into play yet.
Well, not yet. Kenjige's bowled the one over. Again, I don't know if he's a big turner of the ball generally. He may not be. But I don't know if the USA have anyone who really does turn the ball. Shamsi might be a different proposition. Ali Khan's going to bowl round the wicket to De Kock. Steps away. It's a full toss. He gets away with that one. De Kock punches it out to point, but straight to the fielder, and there's no run.
Got the Kock over 59 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Need to get him to 60.
Well, he's certainly got a start. Thank all the gods, no sign of rain today. Looks like clear skies and sunshine.
Not much sign of an audience either in the ground, disappointingly.
Well,
I know it's hard to pick up tickets on the basis that what you expect to happen.
it's down the leg side. De Kock has a swing on a free hit. It is going to be a wide. The keeper fumbles it, but it goes to the man at short fine leg. Well, it would have been nice if the USA could play their games in the USA. I understand that you can't necessarily pre-plan that, but there's so many fingers on the scales in this tournament.
You
generally not in favour of. De Kock has a big swing and can only get an under edge down to that man at short fine leg, and there's no run.
You just thought they'd have had at least one or two Super 8 games in the USA.
Oh, there are. It's just in the other group.
Ah. Well, that's not well planned at all then, is it?
Well, as I said at the start, I don't think it entered anybody's head in the ICC that the USA might actually qualify for the second round, because that was all penned in for India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
But pesky sport being what it is, Pakistan didn't beat the USA. The ICC will have to do something about that. Short term, De Kock's got hold of that one, miles over mid-wicket, and that is onto the third bank for 6.
2, 4, 6.
Well, here's a heretical thought. Why don't they put Pakistan and India in different groups for a change?
Well, there's
makes a better chance for Pakistan to qualify as a result.
There was one on Twitter the other. There's quite a prominent Indian account, and someone suggested, it was Crichton View, who gets a lot of stick, and probably rightly so, and someone suggested, well, why don't they not put India and Pakistan in the same group? And he was completely perplexed. He said, well, why would they not do that? Well, I mean, that's not to anybody's benefit. He couldn't believe that someone could suggest that. Punched up to mid-on the bounce, almost got to him. Not quite, though. Bit of an overthrow, but there'll be no runs. The end of the power play, 64 for 1.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, this is it. If they could fucking work it out and play some bilateral series in any other way apart from at World Cups, they wouldn't need to be in the same group.
Well, exactly. They want someone else to do the security and pick up the bill.
Frong says, last time Afghanistan played in an ICC white ball tournament, some bloke scored 201 not out. He's due for some runs. He's talking about Bangladesh, Australia, I think. Or Afghanistan, Australia. Mayank also says, in Bangalore, Indian women scored 325 for 3 with 2 centurions. South Africa 203 for 4 with 2 overs left. These seem to be all about the women's game. First time in women's has been 2 centurions per team. Kanji K sounds like he's either samurai or yakuza from maybe Osaka, says Lear. Which he's not. He's a good old boy. He was born in bumfuck Alabama.
Alabama.
Harmeet's going to come on now. Does he bowl a bit of spin? I think he does. So there's someone on stilts in the team in cheerleaders. That's quite good. He does bowl a bit of spin and gives it a bit of a loop. Left arm. It's punched up to long off for a single, and this will be his jingle, hopefully.
No, it won't be.
Have we got him? We haven't got him?
We probably have. I'm just going to have to go and search for him now as well.
Well, it also occurred to me today, people were saying that Scotland were unlucky not to qualify, and they were. It's a bit harsh on them to be chucked into a group with 2 of the best 3 teams just because we want England and Australia to play each other. Harmeet's in again. It's left arm around to the left-hander, if that makes any sense. That's played back to him. There's no run.
It's quite odd, Harmeet, because it's very floaty, but it's also pushed through quite hard.
I don't think it really comes out the back of his hand. It's almost out the side of his hand.
Yeah.
It's a good length though. De Kock tips it into the leg side. They might look for 2 here. No, the bowler is there quickly enough on the edge of the circle, just the 1. 66 for 1 in the 7th. An early wicket as Hendricks hit one straight up in the air, but De Kock is really motoring, 42 off 20.
Mike's corrected us about USA games. There's no USA games left. It's only in the group stages. The rest is in the West Indies.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, there's nothing outside of the all the Super 8s.
Oh
were
no,
destined
I think
for
you're
the
right. Yes,
West
yeah.
Indies.
Okay.
Yeah, we just have different West Indian venues now than we had in the previous group stage.
In that case, it's probably fair enough that the USA aren't playing in the USA.
There's some. I mean, there's a couple of grounds that I haven't heard of before. They've had quite a lot of group games, like the Tarouba Stadium.
Harmeet again. He has a little hop before he lands and bowls, but De Kock's put that full toss out towards deep mid wicket. Should just be a single.
We can have his jingle now. I found it. Here we go.
Now you're messing with Harmeet Singh. Messing with Harmeet. Now you're messing with Harmeet Singh.
And he gets the last one up to long on for a single, so that's a decent over. Gone for 5, and it's 69 for 1 off 7.
Mike says, sorry, I've said that one already. Leah says, in case anyone was wondering, that kanji is based on the theme for the greatest American hero. What do I win, Mog? Mayank says, BCC is only worried about making cash, yet they refuse to have a bilateral series with Pakistan, which would be a guaranteed cash cow.
Indeed.
5 tests, 7 ODIs, 7 T20s, perfect series. Do it in Australia or UAE or somewhere.
I'd say do it in the UAE, shouldn't be a problem.
Or even South Africa, because that's where they've decamped the IPL to on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
And you pretty much guarantee good weather, provided you go at the right time of the season.
Right, this is an interesting one. Stephen Taylor, the opening batsman, is going to come on to bowl. I think this is probably a bit of part-time spin.
I'm Stephen Taylor. I'm Stephen Taylor. I'm Stephen Taylor. Taylor. I'm Stephen Taylor.
Yeah, okay.
Is indeed. Markram steps away and punches it out to deep cover. That should just be the one.
He has got a bit of the rolling action of Carl Hooper about him there. He sort of shuffles up and then gently rolls his arm over.
Well, he's bowling from the Andy Roberts end, someone who you couldn't describe his bowling in that way. De Kock's back on strike, takes his mark, adjusts his gloves, does all the annoying things that batsmen do.
It's always wicketkeepers to be doubly worse at it as well.
Yes.
Alex Stewart, you have been noted.
Taylor's going to come around the wicket to the left-hander. It's outside leg stump, and I think De Kock could have just stepped inside that for a wide. He chose instead to tap it out to square leg for a single, which is not as good.
They're in 7th over there. They've only lost 1 wicket. I think someone needs to cut. Well, I suppose.
No, they're on 70 though. I mean, they're not behind the rate or anything. I think they'll be quite happy to take it through to 10 or 11 and then get the hitters in. In the meantime, Markram's played a reverse sweep over short third man. 1 bounce for 4, so perhaps he was more in line with your thinking.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've gone over the run. Should have gone over at the beginning, shouldn't I? I've gone over 197.5.
Well, they've got the two
biffers to come in.
Well, I say
Three, really.
They've got the two
Yeah.
steady batsmen in at the moment, and they've got 3 biffers to come.
Down the track comes Markram. This is over long on. It should be long enough. It is. Almost goes into a little gazebo there. And that's 6. You get the impression that the USA have maybe only got 1 or 2 bowlers they can trust, and they're trying to fiddle a few from other people.
Well, I don't think they want to put Jasprit Singh on again, do they?
I wonder if Corey Anderson's going to bowl. Probably not. I mean, he was never that great a bowler.
No, he wasn't. Wasn't Corey Anderson his first ball in Test cricket for 6?
I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't know is a straight answer. Taylor's round the wicket to the right-handed Markram again, and he punches that one out to cover for a single. But 13 off the over with a ball to go.
Yes, and over in managing expectations, I think. He's trying to get out of it as cheap as possible after that 6.
Well, he's got to bowl one more ball to Quinton de Kock before he can do that. Here he comes. But it's okay, and de Kock just drops into the offside to point, and he'll get a single. 83 for 1 off 8.
There's nothing on Twitter.
Well, I can give you something. Simon, I haven't heard from you for a while. He says, okay, as an American, I am much relieved by looking back at the previous matches at this venue. They all had a good teams scoring extremely fast, and so this is maybe not as bad as it seemed.
No, I agree. In the 2 matches where England played at the venue, England scored quickly, but also there was something in it for the spin bowlers at least.
I'm not sure how much you can read into the Oman game. The gulf in quality between the 2 sides.
Yeah, and the fact that we only between England and
Oman, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we got to sort what we saw.
We
19 balls
only batted for 3 overs. Yeah.
You know,
we're only batted for 13 overs in the 2 matches.
Yeah.
Harmeet is back. He's bowling very full again. That seems to be his MO. It's chopped up to long on for a single by de Kock.
Very full, very leggy, not a lot of room for you to free your arms.
That's going to be the plan, just try to cramp them up. But if you're too predictable and they know what's coming, batsmen of this quality will find a way. Markram not this time though. Just pushes it into the long on area and they'll get another single.
Like every other spin bowler in the world, he'd take a single ball, because at the moment they're going for
in
10.
In T20, yeah, absolutely.
They're going for 10 and over, and a singular ball, he'd be under the rate.
I know most spin bowlers do have a little jump before they bowl, but Harmeet's like he's on a little mini trampoline. He really hops up into the air. And it's full again. He's managing to keep a consistent length. And it's like if you come down the track to it, you'll almost york yourself. De Kock can only punch that one up to long off for a single.
I don't remember the bear having much of a jump in his stride.
A little bit.
I have a jump just as I hit my mark, but I walk to my mark and then have a jump and then continue.
Blue lipstick, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was a partner of Curtly Ambrose in the crowd. Markram punches that one out to cover again. It was a short ball from Harmeet, but
could have left it for a wide.
I was going to say he threw it wide just for a bit of variation. I think that was a smart piece of bowling. The batsmen were expecting another very full ball. That's too far down leg side though, and it's helped himself there. De Kock shovels it round behind long leg for 4, and he gets 50.
You know you lift me with your 50.
Oh, and what an unpardonable error. It's also a no ball from the spinner.
Can't have those.
Over the line! Huh? I'm sorry, Smokey. You were over the line. That's a foul.
I wonder if that was on the
it's a side ball
the
one,
back foot. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's very wide every ball.
Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, he's close to it. Oh, that's out.
No,
it's not out.
It
was another full ball fired across de Kock. It was an absolute yorker. He played over it. The wicketkeeper took it, and then I thought de Kock stepped out of his ground.
He did, but you can't be stumped. You can be run out, but not stumped, I don't think.
What are you? We missed it. What are you talking about?
It's a no ball.
Oh, it was a free hit. Oh, it was a free hit. Okay. Yes, sorry. I think he would have been out without the free hit, but of course it was a free hit,
Yeah,
so he didn't care. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, that's what confused me. Anyway, they put the next one up for a single. Well bowled from Harmeet. That one has gone for 10, I think. And it's 93 for 1 off 9.
Still nothing on Twitter.
Oh, well, okay. So let's give you some... Well, we've got a conversation going on here. Apparently that South Africa-India women match is turning into an absolute classic. What else have we got? Simon says, until recently, Lauderhill was the only international rated pitch in the US. And the West Indies used it more than they did.
Yeah.
Here comes Jones again, I think. Taylor punched out to point. There's no run.
They used it for at least a couple of ODIs every year, I think.
Taylor's in again. Oh, and de Kock had to reach for that one on the sweep, but he has put it in the gap. Yep, he's put it in the gap just in front of square leg, and that's going to be 4.
1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door.
Message says, needing just 6 runs from the last 4 balls and chasing Indian women 3-2-5 for 3. South African women lost 2 wickets, scored a bye and a dot ball. The C word, which I presume means choke, has no gender preference when it comes to South Africa.
Taylor is in again to de Kock, and de Kock cuts that one, but it's well fielded at backward point, and there's no run.
I mean, even in the relatively short history of international women's cricket, a game of 650 runs must be a very oddity.
Taylor's in again, throws that wide, and de Kock gets a bottom edge past the keeper. No chance for the keeper there. Oh no, Anderson is going to roll after it, and he may have got there. It was a bit comical, yeah.
He's not the quickest these days,
trundled after it, but it was a good dive, and he might just have stopped that before the sponge.
I think he did.
He's demolished the hoarding though. There's the Anderson-sized hole in the hoarding now.
There is a lot of him, but that was good work. He used his technique there.
Yeah,
and he did flap the ball away just before he hit the sponge.
In fact, he flapped it so well with his paw that it beat the second man chasing after it.
Had to run back after it, so I should think they got through for 3 after all that.
No, I think they got about 2 because Quinton Cox seems to be on strike again.
He maybe thought that was going. He saw Anderson lolling after that, and he thought, well, that's 4. Still looking at this 15 times. It looked good to me. Good, as in he stopped it before he hit the sponge.
He's done the hip raise to get rid of the leg over the boundary.
And it was just 2. Then again, that's a sweep from de Kock. It's a little bit of untidy wicket keeping. De Kock missed it, bounced off the keeper's glove, which is short third man for a single bye.
Poor old Andres Goose is having his goose cooked. A little bit.
And we're going to have a change at the end of this over. It's 100 for 1, 9.5 overs. Who's going to join us?
Jason.
I'm doing ball. Messages and Sagir are going to join us.
As Markram gets that one very full, up to long on for a single, 101 for 1 at the halfway point of the innings.
Yeah, we're due to have a little switcheroo. Do you want to come and sit here?
I'll come sit there. I'll let Sagir in when he turns up.
When he turns up, yeah.
Sagir's definitely around. So
he's just turned up.
Very soon.
Yeah, I know he's around because.
I should say that women's international between India and South Africa was a classic to watch. I watched quite a bit of the Indian innings. 2 centuries. Smriti Mandana was absolutely unstoppable. I think she made 130 something in it. And Laura Woolwart made 130 something as well. So it was a huge chase, and they so nearly got it, and just lost 2 wickets and 2 balls in the final over to stop them in their chase, which was something of a shame. But a great watch. And the changeover is happening. It's always a lot of fun watching people moving seats at Gorilla Tars, and Sagir is with us. Welcome, Sagir.
Thank you, Jez. How are you?
I'm well. How are you seeing this? Is it a a friendly pitch which the USA have some chance of chasing something down?
It does look like a small ground. I mean, some of those Quinton de Kock hits were pretty standard shots by his level. And, you know, as our colleagues in commentary said that, this might not go beyond the boundary rope. But they did. And to me, it feels as if it's a slightly smaller ground than what we have been used to so far. So I think the USA definitely does have a chance over here because this batting surface isn't as vicious as the one as we saw in New York recently, and I'm fairly certain that it's going to stay true throughout the remainder of this game.
Well, you've got to have at least 55 yards on each side as the that's the minimum requirement. I think it is probably not a huge ground, but the one thing we haven't taken into account is that there's a very strong wind blowing across the ground. It just, if you get the ball into the air, it just lifts it and carries it for miles.
Yeah. And if you look at the way like Quinton de Kock has batted, he hasn't got many runs on the offside. So of all the 58 that he has scored, only 9 runs have come from the offside, and one of them is a boundary, the others are singles. So a lot of his score has been boosted by those loose deliveries that he's got of his on his pads and hips that he just freely swung over the boundary behind square.
We're also noticing that when he does hit it to the legs, he hits it up into the air to make sure it does carry with the wind.
Yeah. Smart cricketing shots though.
Murong wonders whether the Saffers will get past 200 in the tournament so far. Australia got 201 against England, Sri Lanka 201 against Netherlands, and West Indies 218 last night. Nicholas Pooran was just unstoppable last night. Well, apart from at the very end, but he really had come into a very nice vein of
We're back with the cricket now, and it's Harmeet to continue. That one's lofted over the offside again by de Kock. No, sorry, Markram.
Markram
just plays through the ball over extra cover to the man on the boundary for a single.
Jez, about that Nicholas Pooran innings, the thing with Nicholas Pooran is he's not very consistent. He'll have a brilliant innings, and then he has a very fallow sort of performance for the next 3 games.
That's much better by Harmeet. He's yorked, put in the Yorker, and de Kock can just dig it out and punch it back to the bowler. And again, there's a hop, skip and a jump, and that's the same ball again, but this time he's managed to knock it square to point and scamper through for a quick single.
Well, there's a few English and Australian fans who are hoping you're right there, Sigir. Oh, sorry, not the English, sorry. Certainly the Australian fans will be hoping you're right. Who are West Indies playing? I've forgotten.
The other team in the England group.
Find out.
And that's full and reverse swept by Markram.
Oh, yes.
Backward point.
It was England.
So England, West Indies, South Africa, and the United States are all the same group. Oh, right. So
yeah.
And that
I
is
was getting it wrong.
Short and
West
cut
Indies will face
by de Kock, and that's
gone for 4.
Good effort by the man on the boundary, but he just fails to stop the ball from trickling over the rope, and that is a boundary.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Good effort.
Right, so I think West Indies play South Africa, they play the USA, and they play England.
And that's bunted up
right,
by Markram to finish the over. That's 108 for 1 after 11. Messi.
Yes, West Indies play England at 1:30 a.m. Tomorrow morning, English time.
There's no easy run into this. You have to hit the ground running.
Yes, and hopefully for England, Pooran isn't going to be there. Mr. P says, "Oh God, I finally managed to get to Gorillasville on YouTube, only to find it's USA versus Saffers. Not my first choice, but great to have my head in some cricket." Well, welcome, Mr. P. there's a long discussion going on between Simar and Kieran Roseblade about the weather, which I won't deal with it in detail. And over on YouTube, on Twitter, it's gone quiet for the time being.
We are going to see Anderson have a bowl. He's just come in with his left arm seam bowling, and that's on a good line of length and punched up to the long off. Yes, there's a lot of Anderson to get behind the ball if he chooses to.
Yeah, probably bowls a heavy ball too.
He certainly had a heavy bat when he used to, as I recall, in his New Zealand days. No.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you look at the USA's bowling, Netravalkar is a standout performer so far.
I'm very impressed with Netravalkar. He looks like he's got absolute control. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Very smart bowler.
And this is a rinse and repeat Quinton de Kock shot. It's a low full toss, and Quinton just lofts it high over square leg and into the wind, and it carries 25-30 yards over the boundary for 6.
I think Corey Anderson's channeling the Kiwis' first 2 games.
If there's one place not to bowl at de Kock, that is exactly the place.
Yeah, USA bowlers have been very generous to Quinton de Kock over here. I think that they have forgotten that the field's actually set up for offside, and they've just been very loose with the leg side deliveries over here.
Anyway, Anderson has a good adjustment. That's wider and fuller outside the off stump. Almost a wide Yorker, and he's hit the bottom of the bat out to extra cover for a single. Yeah, it's like a baseball shot, that de Kock pull.
But I guess South Africa sort of needed this, because even though they have won 4 games in the league phase, most of them have been very, very narrow wins.
They've been unconvincing, to put it mildly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anderson comes in again. That's tucked him up. That's tucked Markram up on the leg side, and he's just managed to work it gently out to the leg side for a single to the man on the boundary running in.
They definitely needed a little boost in confidence with their batting abilities and the sort of starts that they would have expected. They finally got this in this game over here now.
Interesting. I think they're going along nicely. They don't need to accelerate, but they've only lost 1 wicket. They could possibly accelerate, and that's another full toss by Anderson outside off stump, and it skews off the outside edge of de Kock's bat just past the short third man, who makes a despairing dive for it, and it bounces away from him to the boundary for 4 runs.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
South Africa will not be as generous with the ball when it's their turn.
No, not. And that's the end of the over. One ball to come. Anderson, and that's a nice piece of improvisation by de Kock. Anderson's tried to get that ball a bit closer. De Kock has reverse butlered it, scooped over slip to a very fine third man for another boundary.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Very little effort involved in that, just to manage getting the bat on the ball. It's 125 for 1 after 12.
Dara Azizi says, hi all, hello Dara. Mr. P says, what are the chances of South Africa going all the way in this comp? Well, if they get their batting into gear, I think they have a very good chance. And
they're my sleeper.
USA are playing them into form right now.
They are my sleeper chance to win the whole thing from performances, not in this match, but before it. That's Harmeet again, a full wide ball. That's smothered up to long off by Markram. He's on 36. De Kock is 74 off 39, and looking like there's no reason why he won't get a century today, apart from the fact I've just said it.
Now, Harmeet Singh is sort of bowling the lines and lengths that the medium pacers and the quick bowlers need to be targeting, that wide Yorker length tram line over there.
Oh dear, and as I say that, Harmeet has bowled a waist high full top, and de Kock has hit it straight into the man on the boundary. I have done for de Kock. I did say I had done. He's hammered it straight to cow corner.
I do have to.
And his wicket is gone.
So that was a bad shot to a bad ball, but it was only the fielder that did really well.
Well, it's a good reminder that we have It's a good reminder that we have in our Guerrilla Cricket merchandise store, which you can click on the link on our website, a Shit Gets Wickets t-shirt, which I actually own.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing today, but it's well worth getting. It's a bit of fun, helps us, and we can need all the help we can get.
Mind you, I think that's the perfect. Oh no, hang on a mo. De Kock is still there. Was that a no
They're
ball?
looking for they're checking whether it's a no ball, but he's batting outside his crease, and the ball was tipping, so it's still.
I mean, it was Harmeet, and his back foot is always close to the return crease.
I think they were looking for
they're
the
looking at waist high nature.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice catch
It
by
was a good
Jahangir.
catch.
He was right on the boundary edge. He had to make sure he kept his body inside the boundary. And this is interesting. The number 4 is not necessarily the person I would have put out at this time. It is the left-handed David Miller.
I think they probably must have done it to keep the left-right combination.
Next is a real life wire. David Miller, qu'est-ce que c'est? Suffer for fire, suffer fire, he will.
I think the argument is that he's the better man for probably 8 overs to go rather than Clarkson with about 5 overs to go. Clarkson is a better cold hitter.
Unless they want the left-right combination going over here.
Anyway, here comes Harmeet to Miller, and that's gone first ball. Well, we will never know whether it was a good idea or not.
Yes.
As
Well,
Miller
as far
just
as USA
chips the
are
ball
concerned,
straight
that
back
was
to Harmeet
definitely
and makes
a
it
good
look
idea.
very easy indeed. And that's a first baller for David Miller.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
Well,
And is it too early to use the choke word?
Oh yes, definitely. It's interesting. I think David Miller's the only South African who made a 50 so far. He made 59 not out against the Netherlands.
Well,
they've had some really poor scores batting first as well.
Yes.
I mean, that was never there for driving. It was short of a length. Miller's gone through with a shot and he's stuck in the pitch pretty slightly or slowed up and lifted it very neatly into his hands. Anyway, the man at the crease is the man I thought was going to be coming out earlier. It's this man.
He's going to replace de Kock in all forms of the game. And baby, you're insane. What's this guy's name?
It's the South African ball of testosterone that is Hendricks Clarkson.
Now, of all the Super 8 games, I think USA would have fancied this match as the one that they could potentially win.
Right-handed, bobbing up and down as Harmeet comes in. That's a good ball on leg stump, and he plays it gently away to stop the hat-trick. 2 balls to go, as signalled by the umpires in the universal check. Harmeet bowling in glasses and some form of head cover. My cultural knowledge has failed me. I can't remember what it is. It's a patka, I think, without the top knot on it.
Yeah, so without a full-on turban, like most Sikh players will wear something like that because it's much more convenient, and a full turban is just too heavy on the head.
And to finish the over, that's into the block hole, and Clarkson's just dug it out and pushed it out to long off for a single. That's 127 for 3, 2 off the over, 2 wickets as well. That's very good for USA, that over. Over to you, Missy.
Dara Azizi says, I'm impressed that some of my American colleagues are aware that cricket exists. The World Cup has made a difference to the game profile over here, albeit marginally. Simar comments on some of the ESPN forecasts being totally random in terms of their changing. We've given up trying to add any logic to them, Simar. What we do is laugh at them a lot. And he says, personally, I've been following the US team for about 6 years, but then I've also been ahead of the curve with watching other international sports as an American.
And we're going to see the other left-arm spinner, Kenjiga, return to the attack after Anderson's expensive over. Facing Klaasen. Or Klaasen is facing him. It's pushed through slightly wide of off stump and punched out to the man square on the boundary edge for, I think that's 2.
No, just single.
Just a single.
No, just single.
I thought they'd be getting their skates on at this point in the innings.
Yeah, they would have wanted to accelerate, isn't it? I mean, they're comfortably at a run rate of 9.7, but still.
Slightly shorter from Kenjiga, and Klaasen rocks onto the back foot and punches it up to long off. Walks a single.
Now, speaking of cricket in the USA, John Allsup's written a really good article. I've just posted that link.
Smashed into the offside by Klaasen, and he can't get the ball through the ring of fielders.
The link hasn't actually come up on the chat, Sagir.
Really?
No.
Well, I can see it on the YouTube chat.
I think it may block links.
And that's pushed again off the offside on the off the back foot into the sweeper. Dealing in singles and binary dots and ones at the moment. That might be a 2. That's punched out into the leg side. There's nobody there to field it at mid wicket, and they do take a fairly comfortable 2 in the end.
I mean, these guys are going at a very steady pace at the moment. I don't know what target South Africa have sort of set themselves to get in this first innings. What do you think would be par? 180, 200 maybe on this ground?
Last ball is over, and it's short. Markram tries to pull the ball, gets a bottom edge on it, and it just squirts out.
I'm surprised they didn't pull a hamstring or something in the stroke of it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the over, the 14th over. It's 133 for 3.
I'd guess around 180, Sagir. Leah says, I like to imagine Corey being a member of the inbred part of the family that left for lawless shores a few centuries ago to marry their siblings. Jimmy doesn't like to talk about. She also sends a selection of chokers for South Africa to have a look at.
Leah's definitely got a good sense of humour.
Indeed she has.
And we're going to see the return of the excellent Netravalka, 1 for 7 off his 2 overs so far, as we watch another excellent bowler watching on, probably bowling from his end in fact.
Duo, isn't it? Walsh and Ambrose.
Anyway, here comes Netravalka now, and fast hands from Markram. Has he got it away to the boundary? He has. That's through point. The man sweeping can't get around to it quickly enough, and that's another 4 runs. There wasn't much room to play with that. That was very well manufactured by Markram.
Yeah, it felt as if it took the outside edge of the upper half of the bat, that one. Don't know whether it was deliberately intended to be played in that gap or not, but well executed at the end, I suppose.
And it's resulted in a change in the field. They've brought the point slightly finer to a short third man position, or a deep gully position. And let's see what Netravalka can do now as he comes back in again. That's again same line, slightly shorter, and Markham chops down on that. This time he hits the man on the boundary, and it's an easy single to the other end.
Do we have a jingle for Courtney Walsh and Ambrose?
I don't believe we do. Given one of them finished in 2001 and one of them finished in 2004 from memory.
Oh, yeah, Walsh went on for a bit longer.
In fact, there's a fast bowlers, a union all around this ground.
Yeah.
And this is all very consistent from Netravalka. All very much in the same position, just slightly outside off stump, just slightly short of a length. And they're all being chopped down by the batsman to the point gully area and working the singles away.
If he can get another wicket, maybe two, I think USA would have pulled back South Africa a little bit. Oh, good to see Sean Pollock still carrying notes with him, even though he gets the DLS score wrong.
What I want to know is the lady with Walsh and Ambrose. What are her international statistics? I wonder. Anyway, it's fourth ball of the over, and that's chopped out into the offside but off the front foot this time. I am joined by the people who are going to change at the end of this over. We're going to have a full in-studio presence. It's going to be the Bear, Andy Ward and myself to take you to the end of the innings. South Africa looking good at 140 for 3.
Yeah, just to let you know, that lady has the international record for bluest lipstick.
Again, it is literally rinse and repeat every ball this over almost by Netravalka. Short, outside off stump, chopped down by the batsman, ambled a single to the cover man on the boundary.
Well, that's the epitome of consistency, isn't it? Line, length, just in that spot.
Just the one bad ball that went for 4, which takes it to 9 rather than 6 off the over potentially. And
well, the last 5 overs are going at 8.2 and over, which is actually an improvement on what they were doing previously. So they've brought it back a bit.
Yeah, finally, last ball of the over, last ball of the spell. This is a change up. It's a wide full ball, and has it carried? It has carried to the man at point on the boundary.
There we go. Good catch once again. I think it was Shine Jahangir as well.
And Markram has to go just short of his 50.
Now all Netravalka needs to do is get one more wicket in his last over.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
It was a bit of a waste, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Jason, the next tweet is from Mayank, and you can take a pick on YouTube. There's a lot of chat going on, which can't all get in, but you may find some good stuff there.
Yep. Well, thanks very much, guys,
all
and
right.
I'll see some of you in the second half.
Yeah,
indeed.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you very much. Well, Aidan Markram there, that was going to be a wide, wasn't it?
That's just what I was going to say. He reached out for it. There is a skill, to identifying a wide, and unless you really think you're going to hit it for 4, I would tend to leave them alone.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, he hit it quite nicely, but straight to the man.
He knew the man was there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a big wicket for the USA. They've removed a set batsman. Klaasen hasn't got going yet. Yes, Klaasen and Stubbs could still take it away from them in the last 5 overs, but it'll be at the back of their minds if they lose one more wicket. Janssen is a big step down as a batsman. I mean, the problem is I think 185, 190 is still more than enough.
Should be. Although the USA chased down 180 odd against Canada, I suppose.
Canada, yeah.
Different class of bowling. That's gone back. Oh, that might not have enough on it either. Oh, just. Klaasen does that thing where he smashes it off the back foot. He's got enormous strength for that. Just about gets enough to get it over long off. He's not the tallest man. He's still palmed it over the bar, but it's 6 runs.
Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air. Legs moving side to side. Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air.
Smaximum.
I think he should, if he judged that better, he would have moved back He had space to move back into.
True. This one is shorter and it's forced back past the bowler. It'll just be the 1 run.
I mean, the Hendos of this world will be, why wasn't he on the boundary? Blah, blah, blah. But the point of the matter is, when you're 5 yards off, you should be good enough to judge the ball early and move back if you need to.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of room to play with either. Still would have been... He would have been at full stretch still, I think. Standing, possibly. Tristan Stubbs. Average of 24.33, strike rate 83 in this World Cup. But he can be pretty destructive, I hear.
I think he had to grind out 1 innings in one of those games.
Yeah, didn't he? It was New York, wasn't it? And
yeah.
That's just worked into the leg side for a single.
Came into the side when he was a very clean hitter of the ball, and then has had to work his way back into the side after that by making innings of substance rather than just a brief cameo.
Well, in a T20, a brief cameo is enough if it's a quick brief cameo. Let's be honest, he's in there for 4.5 overs, 5 overs. It's worked into the leg side and there's no run. If he gets, I don't know, 20 off and over.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's got they've got 26 balls left. He can reckon to face 12, 15 balls. If he gets 20 off 12, 25 off 15, job done.
Well, I need them to get to 198.
Well, you'll be hoping more Klaassen from the other end.
Yeah. Well, he's cut that one. Straight to the man on the fence. Another single. Of course, 6 off the first ball of the over means that if they get 5 more singles, it's 11 off the over anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they got a 2 there as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think you've got to see that as a platform for a big over.
Yes.
And not just, oh, okay, great, we're going to get 10.
In the words of Dave Barrett, once you've got the first one for 6, you go hard for the rest of the over.
Well, yeah. Well, that's down leg side. Probably should have let that go. They might try and run for 2. They will get 2 off the last ball of the over. So that over has gone for 12.
That was nicely played. You could see he just took the weight off that to get 2 deliberately. That's just a little bit of experience from Klaassen.
Indeed. Run rate 9.56. Over to you, Jace.
Leah says, get your eyes checked, Andy. That lipstick is purple, not blue.
Ah, well, yeah, but...
And some talk about other American sport on YouTube. Paymar and Frank Rockefeller talking about NASCAR. And Kieran Roseplay adds to that, surely the middle of every NASCAR track could have a cricket pitch on it.
During the race, I mean,
yeah,
why
exactly.
not? You might as well watch something.
Those ovals are absolutely enormous.
Instead of just cars going round and round, like, you know, what was that one with the like the gun and they go round in a circle on the floor, you know?
Oh, Scalextric.
Scalextric.
Yes.
Well, I have actually played it, where is it? Royal Ascot Cricket Club.
Oh, I have too, actually.
In the middle of the racecourse,
yeah.
which is a very interesting experience when you look up and see this massive stand.
Yeah, not for us.
You ever play when the actual horses are going around?
No, I played an over 50s game there. It was quite nice. Must have been Berkshire then, surely. Yes.
Yeah, it's into Berkshire. It was a long trek for us.
Well, that's Stuart Law, who manages or coaches the USA team. He's a pretty good player. Certainly instilled something in them. 4 overs left. I need 45.
That's, you know, on the wire. I think if they get a wicket, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, I do. And mind you, if Klaassen has a good over, I think it'll be a breeze. That's what we need to see.
And having pictures of all the young supporters that are being indoctrinated into the game.
I mean, South Africa don't really have a hitter at 7. They don't really have...
Yeah, Jansen's
okay.
He's a very good bowling all-rounder, but he's not a batting all-rounder.
No, I think some teams have more strength in that kind of area. Australia, West Indies, England.
Well, Jasdeep is going to bowl, and the first ball is played by Stubbs out to wide, long on. It's a bit of a slip out there. It should get back for 2. It's well timed. It's not fielded by the bowler, and there's no run. Jasdeep was the one who went for 28 in his first over.
Yeah, they had to fit him in eventually.
Well, that's why Taylor bowled, we think, for
and Anderson,
the overs
and
up.
Anderson bowled an over, yeah.
It's Taylor who got 94, wasn't it?
No, it was Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah.
Well, Singh's in. It's got to be a waste high full toss. Probably a no ball, I'd have thought. That's clumps with no timing out towards Taylor, who's a sort of wide long on. I think that's going to be a no ball. Are we going to give it as a no ball?
I think it's like he's signalling it now, but it wasn't initially.
Now those are being more accurately judged. You see fewer of them than you used to. I think they used to be called when they weren't.
Yeah, it's often very close to the line, isn't it? Is it the top of the hip bone though, or is it the sort of waist? That's the thing.
The definition has changed. It used to be the bottom of the ribs, but now it's the more where, as you say, the top of the hip bone.
Well, something is going on.
Something
It's
is
gone to a
going
wide
on,
shot.
yeah. I think that's law that should just be. In amateur cricket, it shouldn't be the rule. It's not really dangerous.
No.
It causes constant arguments when people get bowled, and then the umpire, who's a member of the batting side, goes no ball, and everyone. We once got like a 2-page email from someone from the other team about why it should have been a no ball, and they started doing maths and working out the angles, and it was all wrong.
Someone's taking recreational cricket far too seriously.
This is Sunday. This wasn't even a league.
Jesus Christ, that is taking a piss.
It's embarrassing.
It is. Although, having said that,
I'd say I might at least say if it hits the stumps, it's not a no ball. If you do bowl at someone's head, then fair enough.
Yeah, that's a wide. 4 off 2 balls. I got hit on the end of a thumb by a leg spinner who was bowling quite a quick leg spin in a league game, and he let one go, and it was fucking up here, and you just weren't expecting it. Caught me right on the end of the thumb. It was really painful.
That is the worst place to get it, when it compresses the joint.
Yeah.
That's really,
I was
really
fucking
painful.
furious and started waving my bat at him, I think. And he was a sapper. That's going to be a wide too. They'll be loving this. And Jasprit just doesn't want it. He's not
wide. He certainly has the look of someone who just wants to get out of this over and out of this game, having gone for 28 in his first over.
And it's not improved in his second very much.
Well, if he wants to get out of the over, I would suggest not bowling wides.
Aye. Well, he's coming in to bowl to Clarkson, who has a big eve and doesn't really time it enough. Gets it up to long on. He'll get a single.
Well, that's the way to do it, isn't it, Andy? You bowl it into the deck a bit and take the pace off a bit.
Yeah, I was with you, Jason. I was surprised they sent Miller out instead of Clarkson, even though he only lasted 1 ball. 8 overs to go should be the perfect time for Clarkson, but
exactly, given an over.
I think people sometimes overplay left and right hand partnerships.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Having said that, he's really not got going today. Clarkson, I think 16 off 13. Yeah.
Well, Stubbs is facing up. He's hit that nicely. Probably not wide enough for the man at mid off. Nope. Long off even. It'll be a single. Decent shot by Stubbs, but they've got to find the boundary, really. Well, we've got this 5 and 2 wides, 2 balls left, 7 off the over so far with 2 balls to go. Need a boundary of sorts.
General mutterings from Stubbs there that I don't think he's timing the ball very well.
I mean, the good thing about Jansen, he's not a batter's batter, so he does give it a long handle, and sometimes he comes off. Well, that's been smashed straight. Now that won't make it to the boundary either. Mid on, long on is straight enough. It'll just be 1 more.
Well, to be fair, only de Kock has really looked fluent. Markram not bad, and de Kock was really just swinging from the hip, and they did bowl a lot into his slot as a left-hander.
Yes.
But it's not a road here, and I think once South Africa get to, they will get at least 185 from here, and I do think that will be plenty with their bowling.
I think you could be right. That's chopped at by Stubbs. Last ball of the over. It isn't a wide. It's only 76 miles an hour, and it's a dot ball. 3 overs to go. 18 balls, 161 for 4. I need 36 or 3 overs. 37.
Nothing on Twitter. On YouTube, Frank Rockefeller says American grass sucks, not green, and cuts you if you're not careful. I think it's not
that wiry, tough shit, isn't it?
Yeah, there's various ones.
Oh, totally away from this. Did anyone see the end of the US Open on Sunday?
Nope.
Oh my God!
Didn't Rory miss from like no distance at all?
Rory threw it away. Totally threw it away. I mean, I didn't watch any of it until the end, and I just realised I just saw a headline in the paper saying Rory was 2 shots up because he'd started the day 2 shots down. So I turned over to watch it just to watch him completely fucking combust in the last 4 holes.
Well, we've not seen one of those for a while, really.
No,
not since Greg Norman and Nick Faldo.
Well, that's a big heave. That was in the slot, but Clarkson didn't get hold of it. They're going to come back for 2. They should make it. They do. Needs to get hold of one of these. You get the feeling if he does, then it might just be the click that he needs to get some master blasting going on.
Yeah, he hit that 6 off the back foot that the fielder got a hand on, which again he rather thumped more than timed. He hasn't really got anything going off the front foot so far, which is unusual for him. I mean, that last one was in the slot, really.
Yeah, it was.
It just gives me arguments that this ball is not really coming on.
Yeah.
Well, that one he's got hold of. That's the one. And in a slot outside off stump, driven hard over extra cover, all the way to the boundary for 6. That's what he needed. Can't bowl out there.
Who was saying effective temperature was really high? You can see it with Klaasen there. His hair is plastered to his forehead. It does look very hot and humid out there.
Especially inside his lid, I imagine.
Yeah.
Effective temperature was 38. But I find that difficult because if it's quite breezy, and it looks pretty breezy, surely that cools you down.
Isn't it the humidity added to some element of temperature?
Well, yeah. But then with the breeze, shouldn't that take it away as well? It keeps the air moving. Next ball, short, flapped her.
Yep, bowled.
Missed, well bowled. A slow ball bouncer, really.
It does look a little bit out of sorts. That his game isn't quite working as he wants it to.
Yeah, it's bound to have some effect coming off the rotten pitches they were playing on. But they're getting there.
Well, apparently Grosses Lay, where England are playing tonight, is a road. Should be quite a fun game.
Interesting, yeah.
St Vincent, is it, or St Lucia?
St Lucia. I've been to Grosses Lay. That's full and then not quite in the slot, nearly yorking. We managed to chunk it out to mid-wicket.
That's a pretty good ball,
Single,
actually.
that was.
Yeah, I don't really have an option to sort of watch that game in the morning without knowing the score. Highlights don't come up on Sky on Now TV for a day or 2.
Well, you know what to do.
Also can't record it. Stay up and watch guerrilla cricket.
You can, yes.
No.
Roll out of bed and do some commentary at 4 in the morning.
Also no.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's the only overnight game we're doing in the entire thing. The rest of it, fortunately, are Australian cousins.
Second semi-final, England could be in that.
That is good. Well, no, it's not as good an adaptation. I thought he got it thinner than that. It was going to go for 4, but it's Tristan Stubbs does a reverse paddle over the keeper, but it goes up rather than long and stops before it gets to the boundary. They get back for 2 though.
Has he? Yeah, quite high on the bat. I wonder if it's flicked his glove on the way through because
it took all the pace off it. No, I don't think it
maybe
did.
Even his arm, because normally it would. I don't see how you take the pace off it doing that.
No,
I think
it's right on the splice.
It's right on the splice.
Yeah,
no wood there. Well, 1 ball left in the 18th over, and it's just chopped out to short third man. And again, no timing for a single. So what's that? 4, 6, 10, 12. Only 12 off the over.
So it's well bowled in that over. He got a couple of good dot balls in. He only got picked up the once over extra cover. And I think USA are going to keep South Africa under 200 here.
Yeah. Aaron Brian Bausch has tweeted to us saying, "Good day, cricket nerds. I'm doing exactly the same thing I was 1 year ago, sitting on the pier listening to GC. If you told me a year ago that I'd be listening to the US play a Super 8 game, I'd have asked you what you were smoking."
Yeah, well.
He sends us a picture of a very, very lovely beach.
Ooh. See, you're on the east, isn't it? Apparently in the east they've got a heat dome or something, haven't they, going on? It's 40 degrees in New York or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And
New York doesn't have the North Atlantic drift current to protect it quite so much. So it gets unseasonably hot or very, very cold.
Oh, it can get super cold, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and what they're going to do? Drill, baby, drill, as Trump says. Get some more of that oil in. Well, that's an edge, and that could be a handy for first ball of the next over. Not where he wanted it to go. It was a slower ball, quite well bowled by Netravalka really, and he stood on his toes and tried to smash it through the offside. Tristan Stubbs got a thin edge past the keeper instead, and it went for 4 runs. The result was required. There's a cutter.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Really tried to put everything on that, didn't Stubbs? He lifted
You
himself
would
off.
argue it's perfectly placed.
Yes.
He just beat the wicket keeper.
Hands on head by a USA supporter. $177 for 4.
That's
11
that's
balls
quite a
left.
telling stat, really. Only 12 fours by him.
Yeah, more 6s than 4s. That's wide. That's
slow
drilled out
outfield,
to
yeah.
wide, extra cover. Good bit of fielding out in the deep. Should get back for 2. And they do.
Yeah, they fielded well again.
Yeah, they're pretty good in the field. I think the score will be too much, but they did chase down that score. Yeah, I guess it will depend on Aaron Jones getting going.
Apparently it's like the only time he's ever done that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, there
and
we
he's
go.
played Canada like 12 times.
He looked all right in the other game we saw him in.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
did well against Pakistan, which they sort of nearly lost and then got into a super over and then won the super over.
Netravalka is in. Oh, no, why are you chasing that? It was going to be a wide. But Stubbs gets an under edge to the keeper and there's no run. Goose. We've got Top Gun jokes ready for Goose.
We've had a couple of jokes already. I said his Goose is cooked when he was doing some poor keeping.
Yeah, to appropriate deathly silence.
Yeah.
Well, current partnership's 38 off 23. 4 balls left in the over.
That's pretty much all.
3 balls left in
Stubbs
the over.
though. 15 off 11.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah,
Oh, he
bowled.
missed that, so that might be given as a wide.
No, I think that one's okay. I think
He did
that's
go
well
across
bowled.
his stumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just inside the advisory line.
Well, I'm going to need 20 off the last over. 19. Well, no, actually, it could be less. There's 2 balls to go. Come on, hit a 6 and a 4 and just make it 10. Or 8.
Well, there's still signs that it's not necessarily easy to bat when you first come in.
Yep. I'll certainly be going under on the
Yeah,
the-
and it's going to
the
be
Yankees.
a tough one with Rabada and Janssen and
Well,
Nort Kier.
exactly. Goes right across his stumps,
Sure.
just Tristan Stubbs. Gets followed by Netravalka, then tries to sort of slog sweep it. Gets it probably on the top of his knee. Undefended by his pad, and that probably hurt.
Ow.
Oh, fuck,
Ow,
that
ow,
must have
ow.
hurt.
That is right on the inside where it will hurt a lot.
Ooh, nasty.
Yeah, he's toughing that one out, not showing much pain, but maybe it's hit him on the fleshy part. But
Yeah, got lucky. Last ball of the over. The 19th. Netravalka's bowled well. He got 4-2, and 4 was an outside edge. Last ball is missed time back to the bowler. Terrible 19th over after getting 6 off the first 2 balls. 4 dots.
yeah, he just kept bowling in the same place, and Stubbs couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. Does that mean our man who got hit for 28 in the first over has got bowled the last over?
Well, I think they've got some options. Let's see, what are they going to have?
Whilst you're thinking about that,
Ali Khan has got one
Ali
more,
Khan
maybe?
probably, yeah. Mike says it's not 40, it's about 90 to 91 to 92 Fahrenheit, which is about 33. Saturday will climb to 96, which is 35, and the humidity is quite high, around 50%. So thankfully the matches here are done. Brian Bauer says it is in fact 36 degrees at our house in Philly right now, but only 25 degrees where I sit above the ocean in New Jersey.
That seems quite pleasant. Apparently we're going to get some mid-20s next week for the first time in fucking weeks. Well, that's Klassen missed times down up to long on, and they'll get a single. Looking at the toe of his bat where he got it. It's probably enough for South Africa, you'd have to say.
Yeah, well bowled again. It's a good Yorker. I think they've bowled pretty well these last 5 overs.
They have, haven't they? You'd expect South Africa to try and get away, and they haven't been able to.
Only de Kock's really got away in this innings.
Yeah. And that was mainly due to that 1 over of shite.
It helped, yeah.
There's a difference between 140 and 180 potentially.
Yeah. Well, Tristan Stubbs is facing up. Mid-off has come up. Everyone's out on the leg side, and there's a deep cover. Ali Khan is bowling this last over. He comes into bowl to Stubbs. He pulls it hard in front of square, but not hard enough to beat the two men on the fence. They only go for one. Should be running for two there. Jesse Singh out there.
That would have been a tight two, I think, with a good throw. Maybe in the last couple of balls they would.
It is the last over.
Yeah, you don't put... I mean, yeah, I wouldn't take on a run if you're going to be 70% to be out, though.
Yeah.
You want your batters in, not
Well, there we go.
Goodbye.
For this
Klassen
reason.
has got enough of that one. That's 6 runs. Ooh, it's going to be tight for my 197.
Oh, they
isn't it?
might get there yet. 3 balls, yeah.
Yeah, 3 balls. Here's a 6.
They'll probably need 2 more boundaries.
Yeah. One of them being a 6 would be handy. If he's going to pitch it into the deck, Klassen certainly would take it on.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between hitting halfway up the bat and hitting it at the full length of the bat.
So he's kind of found a way in the end, class, and he hasn't looked fluent at all, but he's got
This was 33 or 20.
of 20, exactly.
When he's hit, what, 2 6s and a 4, or 3 balls, that's 16, so that's not so bad. Ali Khan comes in to bowl to him. That's full, and he toe ends it up the pitch. They're going to come back for 2. And they're going to make it. Ooh.
Not sure they
Not
did.
sure they
Good
made it
throw
that
to
easily.
the keeper's end.
It was a good throw to the keeper's end. I thought
Very
he was
much
gonna
a
go to the
baseball
bowlers.
throw there. It's going to be run out at home plate.
But I think he got in. It's difficult. We weren't watching it from the side by any stretch.
I'm not sure. I think he might have got him there.
You think?
Yeah, he is the one that has to start off second.
Oh, it's going to be tight. He's coming down on the stumps. He's over the line.
He
and the
just had
stumps
to
go.
pull it down a little bit too far.
Yeah. Good effort, but he's in.
As it is, to be fair, always difficult to run out the keeper's end from long on.
Yeah, just a slight extra time the ball has to go. 189 for 4. 2 balls left.
You're still in the game, Bear.
6 and a 4 gets me over the line. 2 4s doesn't get me over the line. Kind of a no ball 6 would be quite handy. No, that's a dot ball. They're going to get 1. They might even come back for 2. No. Mid off is up quickly enough. And that's me done. Unless there's a no ball. 190 for 4.
Again, very well bowled.
Very slingy.
Very
Low arm.
slingy.
I think that was more of a variation than what he generally does.
Is Ali Khan Indian originally?
With a name like Khan, possibly Pakistani.
Well, possibly, but I think exactly. He was picked up for the IPL. I wonder if he was of Indian heritage.
Yes, because anyone with Pakistan heritage doesn't tend to get a NOC.
A visa, yeah.
Indeed.
I don't know if you're American and you've got an American passport.
Then the American superpower will have the full weight of their.
Well, he's finally got hold of one, and he's going to get 4 off the last ball. Tristan Stubbs does the reverse paddle this time with timing. Gets it over the keeper down to where third man wouldn't be. Very fine. Gets 4 runs. South Africa end on 194 for 4 off 20 overs. A pretty good score. Could have got more, but well done them.
Yep, as Andy has said, several points through this innings. Whatever they get is probably going to be enough, given their much better bowling attack.
I think so. Unless someone really comes off for the USA, that's going to be a very tall order. But South Africa will want to be aware, especially if they can get a few early wickets, that run rate could be a factor in this group, and they want to, if they can,
well, yeah,
get a big win.
We were talking about this on a podcast this morning. If South Africa beat, say, England lose to the West Indies, South Africa beat the West Indies, and then lose to us.
Yeah, that could happen.
And everyone loses to one other, one of the big teams. Then it will come down to net run rate. Should be interesting. Well, what can we say about that? South Africa batted okay. 74 from the Kock, 11 from Hendricks, 46 from Markram. All that good lick. David Miller was out first ball, caught and bowled. Clarkson was 36 off 22 not out. Stubbs 20 off 16 not out. 194 for 4 with 7 extras. We'll, I guess, just put on the podcast and be back in
5 minutes. The
5,
rate they
10
go
minutes,
here.
yeah, whatever they do. What are you looking for? It's not on there. Go down to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
No, that's the podcast app next to it. You go down to the bottom of the screen. It brings up all the tabs. Yeah. Let the other way. Podcast.
There it is.
Just hit resume.
But
Yeah,
he
there's a super chat.
He was so demanding on others to the point where he actually ultimately said,
well, he eventually
possibly
broke
was
them,
too
didn't
tough.
he?
Yeah,
he broke the side eventually.
I pushed them so hard I broke them.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Mark Gothic somehow fitted into that.
Jonathan Trott as well, wasn't it? I mean, that was
Jonathan Trott.
That was basically the end of it. It was like when Trott pulled out of, was it 2 or 3 tests in Australia, and it was kind of, that was when it all fell apart, wasn't it? On the return after the 2010 win, and when was it 2014, 15, I presume.
Yeah, well, that might well be one of his failings, because when we look at great footballers, they don't always become great managers or managers. I think Andy Flower has proven as a good coach. There's no doubt about that. All the amount of franchise jobs he gets around the world, you don't get that much work if you're not a good coach. But man management's a big part of that. And when you're going back 10 years now, I'd like to think he would have probably learned from that experience that you need to know your team and the people you can kind of push, give a rollick into, and the people that need a bit of an arm around the shoulder and a different approach. And maybe he would look at examples like that and think, you know, if I had that time again, I'd probably handle that a bit differently.
Kind of the really management of the likes of Botham and Willis. Well, actually, that's another really interesting example. So if you take, because you have in your 22 Douglas Jardine, and that's fascinating, because if you take a cliched view of hard men, he doesn't quite fit it. He feels like the First World War general who's behind the cocktail cabinet while the troops do the
send them over the top,
do the dirty work, is the misconception, I might point out. But he makes it. He makes it, and you've got some really interesting reasons. So tell me a little bit about him and why he makes the 22.
I researched him quite a lot, actually, because obviously I wasn't around during his career, as most of us wouldn't have been, and found it fascinating that in many ways he sounded quite, to put it bluntly, like a bit of a snob who wasn't particularly likeable, looked down on people a little bit, particularly Australians, because they barracked him, and he didn't like that too much. But
bloody convicts, he called them.
So he's in the book for 2 basic reasons. One, because he was hard enough and brave enough to just change the conventions of cricket and say, this guy Bradman is going to keep beating us every time we play Australia. We can never win the Ashes while he's being allowed to just smash us all over the place. And he was, like I said, brave enough, maybe even innovative enough to come up with this body line. You know, he didn't like the term body line, but leg theory, where we're just going to bounce the shit out of them and hopefully take their wickets. And it worked, didn't it? We won 4-1, and it cost him his England career in the end, because the English authorities turned on him in the end.
As they did with Harold Larwood.
They shafted him, to put it, you know, in a crude term. But in terms of physical way, the Aussies did try and give it back to him in side matches, and he was hurt several times. And I think he actually won the players' respect, because they said that every time we play Australia, we can never win the Ashes while he's being allowed to just smash us all over the place. And he was, like I said, brave enough, maybe even innovative enough to come up with this body line. You know, he didn't like the term body line, but leg theory, where we're just going to bounce the shit out of them and hopefully take their wickets, and it worked, didn't it? We won 4-1, and it cost him his England career in the end because the English authorities turned on him in the end.
As they did with Harold Larwood.
They shafted him, to put it, in a crude term. But in terms of physical way, the Aussies did try and give it back to him in side matches, and he was hurt several times. And I think he actually won the players' respect because they said, fair play, he dishes it out, but he can take it as well. He was a bit of a tough upper lip kind of general figure, but he was bloody tough as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of chats about him. Largely, we did a special around Percy Fender, and obviously Percy's career and Douglas Jardine's career are sort of massively intertwined. Certainly at England level. But there are other examples, that I guess if most cricket fans sat down to come up with their list of 22. I mean, one of the beauties of the book probably is it's unexpected in some of the names. I'm not sure I would have put Ranatunga in my 22, and yet again he was making, as well as being a tough player, he was making a statement about the treatment of Murali, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And you cite that, I think, as being the ability to step out of your role and front up against a different issue.
Yeah.
And he did that. Do you think without that he would have made the cut?
I do, actually, because the Murali example is just it's a small example under the umbrella of the spirit that he gave Sri Lanka at that time, because I am just about old enough to remember Sri Lanka touring England in 1984 at the back end of that West Indies series, and I think they'd been going in Test cricket 2 or 3 years by then. And throughout, although they did well at Lords against England and it was a drawn match, but throughout that era generally, a little bit like my example earlier of Zimbabwe, they were seen as a soft touch, Batsmen would be thinking, God, I'm going to boost my average against these guys. They haven't got any pace, no, spinner to worry about. Yes, they had a few batsmen who could score 100, but generally they were seen as a bit of a soft touch. It was about how much you're going to beat them by, not if you can beat them. And Ranatunga came along and just gave them a bit more of, like we said earlier, a bit of a mongrel spirit. Let's not be pushovers. Let's stick our chests out. We're playing for our country, and let's give as good as we get. And he definitely did that. And look, who expected them to win the World Cup in 1996? A lot of that, yes, was down to some damn good players like Murali and Jaya Surya, Aravinda de Silva. But I also think they were playing because of the freedom that Ranatunga gave them to go out and express themselves with a kind of an iron fist attitude.
It was as Sri Lanka was just really starting to emerge as a power as well. I mean, cause and effect. He played his role in that.
Yeah.
But I think
the golden generation started then, didn't they?
It did. Yeah. So. It did.
Let me ask you a question. Tony, you've read the book. Were there any players in there that you thought, wow, that surprised me, but having read the chapter, you agreed or you didn't agree? I mean, feel that they were all justified in the end? I'm curious to know your...
Well, that's a really, really good question. There was certainly players I didn't know so much about. I mean, I might put John Reid.
I was going to say, I don't even know who John Reid is.
But I'm not sure I got to the end of that chapter utterly convinced, but that's possibly because I didn't have any real preconceived notions when it came to John Reid. But I thought another one that did fascinate me, well, two actually. One was Anil Kumble, and you mentioned him when we were chatting earlier, because the mental image I have of Kumble is a craftsman of a bowler, obviously one of the 3 bowlers to take 10 wickets in a Test innings, but a craftsman of spin and a hard man. Didn't really see it, you know, on the list it popped out at me as going, ooh, but you cite him as being quite an example of white line fever.
Yeah. Yeah. What was
so you got that contrast.
What was interesting about that, and I obviously wrote about it in the chapter, when I was working on a test match in, I think it was 2007, India's tour of England. I just remember an on-field altercation between Kumble and Peterson. And I thought, wow, I don't usually see that side of Kumble, sort of having a bit of a aggro with an opposition player. And I specifically asked, Raul Dravid did the end of match press conference when he was captain, and I got along with Raul quite well. And I asked him the question about, isn't that a little bit out of character for Anil Kumble to react like that? And he said,
and we are back. I am joined by Bennett. All right, Bennett. You're on mute. You haven't got your microphone on.
Yes, thank you. Hello, Bear, and hello, Messi. It's a bright and sunny evening. How are you all today?
Yeah, good. Not too bad.
Well. I think USA did reasonably well to contain South Africa to their final score, to be honest.
Absolutely, and some brilliant death bowling at the end. In case you've joined in, welcome. This is Bennett, Bear, and the Chess Show for the next 5 overs. And it's Marco Jansen starting the South Africa's defense. This is an over pitch delivery, nicely driven by the left-handed opener. And US are off to a flyer off the very first ball. It's a boundary.
Okay, it's one of these. Hit off of.
You think Marco would play polo, but there's more money in cricket.
There's Stephen Taylor there with that shot. Good looking shot. Good start to the US campaign here on this game. It's US winning the toss and deciding to field. This one's tucked away towards mid-wicket area, and the batters go through for a quick single. In case you've just tuned in, US winning the toss, invited South Africa to bat first. 194 for 4. Quinton de Kock, 74 off 40. Aidan Markham, the skipper, 46 off 32 with the pick of the batters in the bowling. Saurabh Netbarlaka, brilliant death bowling, gents. Then do you see the 19th over? It was just 2 runs with 4 dot balls.
Yeah.
4 overs, 2 for 21. Jansen
You know,
bowls.
that's the most expensive 4-over spell in this tournament.
Really? Okay. That's a good delivery. And Gauss, his first ball, he's trying to play on the onside, over pitched, and he gets it on the pad. No chance of a run. Bear, what are your thoughts on the way the game's progressing so far?
Well, I expect South Africa to win. I don't see USA chasing down 190. I know they did against Canada, close too, but South Africa's a different ball game.
I'd like to see a close game here for the sake of US cricket. As Jansen bowls, this one's on a good length, played very correctly. A copybook kind of a defensive shot. Didn't really reach right to the front, but pushed it away towards the mid-off area. No chance of a run.
Let me get some jingles in for the batsman. We've got Stephen Taylor.
I'm Stephen Taylor. I'm Stephen Taylor.
Yeah, it's Stephen Taylor, and that's all that says. And we also have this guy.
Who's in the house? Who's in the house?
Andres Hughes.
Jansen bowls. This one's left arm over outside the off stump, shoulders, arms. Goes Gauss as he leads it to the wicket keeper. So this is a Super 8 game. It's Group 2, the 41st match. Current run rate is 7.5. Required run rate is 9.82. Can US cause a bit of an upset? A lot of following in cricket, following the US team around the world. They have caused a bit of upset in the World Cup here, with a few wins, but this Super 8 now, so it's 2 sets of 4 teams each, and they play each other outside the off stump. Shoulders, arms again goes as the ball goes through to the wicket keeper. No chance of a run. Good comeback by Jansen. 1 over, none for 5 at the end of over number 1. Fair. Oh, sorry. Messi, have you got anything on? My apologies, Messi.
Well, the first message I should deal with actually came through at the very end of the first innings. Frank Rockefeller is very kind and sent us $20. Says, good stuff. Watching the novices and the pros. It's all the same to you. Thank you very much, Frank. Your support is always very much appreciated. There's some discussion around the stealing of noodles. Mr. P says, as long as Australia don't win this tournament, I'll sleep okay. I think there's a few people feel that way about Australia.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, are you okay? You feel a bit sick? It's cold?
Interesting.
It's Aidan Markham who's bowling the second over. This one's outside the off, slashed. And slashed straight to the extra cover. Field, no chance of run. Markham bowls with the new ball.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, though, opening with him. Carry on.
Markham bowls. This one's over pitched and hit officially. And wide off the mid-wicket area. Hit high in the sky and over the boundary for as the first 6 of the innings for Stephen Taylor. Looking quite composive here.
Floaty, too full, got what it deserved, really.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me a sign if you're doing the jingle bear. Sorry,
we should be able to hear them now. I changed the settings. I'm not doing fucking signs. It's
Okay, no problem. So US are 11 without loss. This one's swept away again nicely by Taylor. This one's towards the deep square leg area for a boundary. So 6 and a 4 off the second and third ball of the over, bear.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good start, Bear, for US.
Yeah, it is a good start. I guess South Africa probably weren't expecting
memories
that.
of Will Jacks.
Yes, exactly.
For England.
Aidan Markham, the skipper, this tactic not paying off for him as he's been taken for 10 off 3 balls shortish on the back foot, slaps this one into the covers but not able to beat the field on that occasion, straight to cover point. No chance of a run. Required current run rate is 9. Required run rate is around 10 as Markham comes in bowls. This one short on the back foot goes Stephen Taylor and pulls this one towards the deep mid-wicket area as the batters go through for a quick single. And we've got just one more ball remaining. Oh, it's the end of the over. My apologies. Is it? No, it's not. One more ball
Shouldn't be, no.
One more ball remaining. So South Africa going into this Super 8. So how it works is two sets of groups with 4 teams each. They play each other, and then the next stage of the elimination happens on the back foot, tucked away towards the mid-wicket area, and the batters come back for just the one there. No, they come back for 2 as the end of the over from Markham. 13 runs coming off that at the end of over number 2, 18 for no loss. Messi, what have you got?
Hattie the Baddie says, I love Bennett's enthusiasm. He makes me smile. Happy mad old bat. Thank you, Hattie. You've made him smile even more now. Pokey said the screen needs a jingle bell.
Yeah, I've got to whack you two on the screen. It was me and a couple of empty chairs, but it's all sorted now.
Right, okay. And Sagnik Data says, I think the USA might pull this off. That would be really interesting in the context of this competition if they were to do so.
It will be indeed. Down the leg, next over from Jansen, wide declared by the umpire. Yes, I mean, goes back memory lane in 1996, isn't it? When Sri Lanka came into the World Cup and beat the mighty Australia in the finals. But certainly, whatever the outcome of this game or the tournament, it's been a great outing for the Americans.
It has, and it's all due to that result against Pakistan, really. I mean, Pakistan were pretty hopeless in the group stage.
But they'd played very well against Canada to beat them as well. And I mean, they haven't performed badly in any games.
This one's a bit shortish, and Taylor not able to get that away on the onside, and no chance of a run. But if you think about it, I mean, we've got Afghanistan, who I've always thought will cause an upset or two. They've been on the rise, haven't they? We've lost Pakistan and New Zealand from the Super 8s, to a lesser extent Sri Lanka, who played very poorly. Bear, so what are your thoughts going into this stage? Hold that thought for a second. Jansen, left arm over, lanky, tall, driven handsomely, beautifully driven by Taylor on the up, drives it between the mid-off and the extra cover for a exquisite boundary.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
I think there's 5 teams that can win it here. I think this is the group of death. I think in the other group you'd expect Australia and India to go through, but in this group it could be, you'd expect it would be 2 out of West Indies, South Africa and England.
This is down the leg again. Jansen struggling with his line here, as this one's down the leg, and Stephen Taylor lets it go through, and it's a wide. Yes, so you fancy South Africa to go in from here?
I fancy it in this game, yeah, but I bet on England to win the tournament, primarily because the odds were 9-2, which I thought was pretty good considering we were existing champions. But tonight's game takes on significance, doesn't it? If you can beat West Indies, you get the start you want, and that game sort of...
Left arm over, and it's it's a shortish snorter as it climbs on Stephen Taylor. Didn't know much about that. However, it's a little bit wide.
No, it was giving us a dot ball. I thought he edged it. It's not wide.
No, is it not? The feed is a little bit slow for me.
Yeah, it lifted a bit. Well taken by the Kock.
Well taken by de Kock, but it is a dot ball. Yes, indeed. Apologies, listeners. Bit of a lag. I was noticing the white ball in the previous delivery. So again, Jansen comes in, getting his line direct a little bit better now, and this one's over pitched, and no footwork there as the ball goes through to the wicket keeper.
No, it went down to...
No.
Oh, sorry.
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance
It
floor.
was a Vatican slice past his stumps.
Vatican slice. Yes, it was indeed sliced away. Beautiful looking shot by Stephen Taylor for a boundary. So the US 27 marching on steadily. Stephen Taylor looking dangerous and being very destructive.
It actually came off the back of his bat.
Something like that.
Indeed, this is short down the leg side again. And this one definitely being declared as a one short ball for the over. He gets away with it. Bear, was that close to a wide?
I thought that was wide. I thought it was down leg, but hey, maybe it was over his shoulder, and therefore you couldn't call it as a wide.
He's lucky to get away. He's struggling with his line here, Bear.
Yeah, Jansen can do that. It's not always the most consistent. I think he's a good bowler, but he can be a bit
right
wayward.
on or right off.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed. In case if you're joining in, US sending South Africa into bat after winning the toss. South Africa 194 for 4. Quinton de Kock 74. Aidan Markham's keeper 46. A bit of a 5 play at the back, bottom end of the innings. Hendricks Klassen 36 off 22. And Jansen bowls. This one's driven towards the mid-wicket area, straight to the fielder. No chance of a run. End of over number 3. 28 for no loss. Messi, what have you got?
Farong says, impressive effort from my team in this innings. TV umpire, that is. Joel Wilson has performed magnificently. Go, Joel. I think the TV box is the best place for Joel. Leah says, I told you that the Safa high chuckers can't cash the checks that Paddleman right. Well, we shall see yet. I think it's a little early to reach those conclusions, Leah. But it's encouraging to see the US off to a good start, but just over 9 and over.
195 to win. Bear, what do you think? Was it a little bit too much? For
I think it's probably
the
a little bit
Americans?
too much, but they've had a good start. The next man into bowl is this man. You can talk over the top of it.
It's a new bowler, this one. So beautifully driven. That was an exquisite shot, overpitched on the front foot. A batter's dream there as it drives it along the ground, way past the bowler, straight into the sands over here. It's a beautiful shot. He got well into position as he drives it. A bit uppishly though, but he knew where he was hitting it. The safest shot ever that you can play. And Gauss is off the mark.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That was a nice shot.
It's a nice shot. He was playing second fiddle to Stephen Taylor and has broken free at the moment. Rabada bowls, and this one's a bit of an ugly looking position there he got into. Got himself entangled. However, as it drops through, the batters comfortably go through for a leg bye, and the score moves up to 32. So in the bowling, it was for the Americans, Saurabh Netbakar. Oh, he has played under 19 cricket for India and played a few first-class games as well before he migrated. He's took 2 for 21 and 2 for 24 from Harmeet Singh. So two players of Indian origin playing for the American team, sharing the honours with the bowling. It is Taylor and Gauss at the wicket. Rabada comes steaming in. It's a shortish delivery on the back foot, and he drives this one uppishly, and it goes straight to the hands of the mid-off fielder, and that is the end of a short knock from Stephen Taylor, who's out for 24. Caught in mid-off the bowling of Rabada, and South Africa in the fourth over. Sorry, USA in the fourth over. With the score 33 have lost their first wicket.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Bear, what happens now?
Well, I don't know who's in next. Will it be
Stephen Taylor? Is it going to be?
Will it be Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones is batting at number 4, I think. It's Shayan
Jahangir, isn't it?
Shayan Jahangir. We have seen some really good knocks from Aaron Jones in this tournament. He has really set the US hopes alive. And so in this tournament then, Bear, you reckon out of the 5 teams then, who do you think will go through to the finals?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be England. I think West Indies are on the up. I think they're at home. I fancy West Indies and England from this side.
I really think West Indies are on the... sorry, Ben, go on.
Yeah, well, and this is the problem. I think the game tonight, because if South Africa win today, then suddenly they got the points, and whoever loses tonight is then playing catch-up, which adds pressure. That's why winning tonight's game, being the first battle of the 2 big guns in the group,
got it. Yeah,
becomes a little bit more important. I think you've got to get that win out of your way, and then suddenly you can kind of afford to lose against the other big gun then. But then if you lose that first game against the big gun, you can't afford to lose the second. A lot more pressure on.
I hear you. I think West Indies have really impressed me in the last couple of games. They seem to have got all their bearings right. Rabada bowls this one on the back foot. He's pushed it right in front of him, and they decide to take a suicidal run here. They're lucky, as a bit of a football practice there didn't really work, as it tried to hit the stumps on the occasion. So the ban out was Stephen Taylor for 24. Nitish Kumar is the new batter in. He has played for Canada. He's captain Canada. He's switched allegiance now, moved to the US, and has qualified to play for the US, Bear.
Yeah. Was he not good enough for Canada?
So he did. He was good enough, but I think during COVID, apparently he lost a lot of opportunity playing because the Canadians didn't have much cricket, so he decided to migrate to the US across the border. This one's pushed back to the bowler, no chance of a run. So that's Nitish Kumar. A very stylish batter. It's Gauss who's taking strike there. Lots of hope relying on Nitish Kumar. He started playing for Canada at the tender age of about 17. and he captained very
Well,
early
15.
as well.
15. He was the second youngest player ever to play in an ODI at the age of 15 years and 273 days.
There you go. Rabada balls. This one's driven towards the mid-wicket area. No chance of a run. A good first over after being hit for a boundary off the first ball. Just 4 runs coming off at the end of over number 4. 34 for 1 in pursuit of a victory target of 195. What have you got, Jesse? Messi, sorry.
Leah says 2 minutes after writing those comments, the Colonials lose their cool. Farang says, stop this nonsense talk of Australia, Poms, Saffers, West Indies winning the trophy. Extended long wheelbase double-decker rickshaw is nearing completion. Rooftop parade around Mirpur is only weeks away for the victorious Bangladesh team. You're forever an optimist, Farang. I don't know if you saw the game between Bangladesh and the West Indies, but was it Bangladesh? The West Indies thumped the other night? Or was
I think they got...
Yeah, they did. That was just one side of the fair. Jansen is bowling through now. He's bowling his third over. And this one's pushed into the covers by Nitish Kumar. No chance of a run. So yes, he was the youngest player to play ODI cricket at the age of 15. Nitish
the second
Kumar.
youngest.
Second youngest. Who was the youngest then? Tendulkar, is it?
There was a Pakistan player. Can't remember his.
Salim
Hassan Raza. Hassan Raza.
Hassan Raza. Yes. Hassan Raza. Interesting. Nitish Kumar has got yet to open the mark. This one's overpitched, and Nitish Kumar. This one lifts. He lofts this one beautifully straight past the bowler into the stands, and that is another 6.
Man.
Can't hear anything, so I'm sure there's no.
Yeah, that's done.
There. No problem. Jingle's done. So Nitish Kumar is off the mark. He's on 6. USA sailing at 40 for no loss. Kumar's just opened his account of Marco Jansen. Was that a great move then to make him bowl the third over as well, Bear? As Jansen comes in, this one's respectfully pushed into the covers, and the batters go through for a quick single. Good batting there, Bear. 6, but they're not resting in their laurels, rotating the strike. I like that.
Yeah, fair enough, but I don't know. Just kind of think there's not enough depth, is it? If South Africa managed to get a few wickets, it could all come crashing down pretty quick, you'd have thought.
Exactly, but we've got Aaron Jones and Corey Anderson, who was a former Kiwi player. You never know. Anderson can hit the long ball. He's done it for New Zealand over a number of years, and Aaron Jones, we know what he can do. It's just maybe too much of an ask. Maybe if he got them down to about 150, would have had a sniff at it. But Jansen comes in. This once again gives himself room on the leg side to drive this one past the extra cover area, and the fielder at the deep point area had to run around to pick up, and the batters have enough time to come back for 2. Nitish Kumar, no, that is Gauss on strike, who's moved up to 8 of 10. A rather sedate start by him after the explosive Stephen Taylor was out for 24 off just 14 balls. He was looking good and looking for more. Unfortunately, couldn't really get through with that. He was out for 24. Jansen in his third over, shortish, and Gauss lifts this one hard and high again, right into the stands at the deep mid-wicket area. It's another 6, second 6 of the over. Pretty ordinary bowling there, Bear. Pretty ordinary bowling on the slot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's he's bowled pretty poor. I was going to say the reason he's bowling out in the beginning is he's not a great death bowler, but he's not really starting very well here.
And I think he's a bit of rhythm bowler, isn't it? I mean, he's lost his rhythm. I think Markham's trying to get his overs through. Sorry, Messi.
I was going to say, I owe an apology to Farang. It wasn't Bangladesh who were flogged by the West Indies, it was Afghanistan. Bangladesh did struggle against the pool, but still won that one.
Last ball of Jansen's over. This one's over pitched and pushed into the mid-wicket area as the fielder has to run around there. The batters have enough time to crossover for a couple there, and takes Nitish Kumar on to 7. It's Gauss who's batting, sorry, he's on 16. So Yanis Sanadio has bowled over 3 overs, none for 32. USA at the end of 5 overs, 1 for 51, chasing a victory target of 195, and it's time for a change.
It is indeed. I'm just admitting Will. It's going to be Jason and Andy and Will. And I will see you shortly.
We'll see you shortly.
See you later.
Well, good start from USA, 51 for 1 off 5 overs, and keeping up with that rate. They've lost Stephen Taylor, who has been the most proactive, and they are still going to have to face Nortkier, Maharaj and Shamsi in these last 15 overs. They're doing well for now, though. Rabada is in, it's a slower ball and leg stump, tapped past Janssen at short mid-wicket, but it'll keep them to 1. And Will, how much have you seen of this game so far?
I've seen most of it, I think. Yeah, I've been really impressed with the USA. I think that they're going really well, and I think generally that the associate nations have been the making of this World Cup. I don't know. I think that the Test playing nations haven't been great. And South Africa will be slightly disappointed with their bowling.
Steps away, Gauss. Rabada follows him, not for the first time, and he pops it into the offside for a single. Well, they've got their strength coming up. I think Nortkier's been good in the tournament, and we might see Shamsi and Maharaj get a bit more turn than the American spinners did.
Yeah, that's true. I think there will be a point at which the sheer amount of cricket that the pros play.
Well, Rabada's on the leg stump. It's clipped long into the leg side. Is there a man underneath it? Yes, there is. Tristan Stubbs is giving it the big one for catching that one. Nitish is out for 8 off 5, and it's 53 for 2.
On your bike, mate.
I always think in the power play you should be disappointed if you're caught in the deep, because there's only 2 people out there.
I agree. It's I don't know how big the outfield is, but still, with only 2 out, you shouldn't be getting caught in the deep, really.
No, and it was a bit of a gimme ball as well. It was outside leg stump. He's really just helped it on his way without being particularly deliberate in when he was putting it, I think.
Yeah, I do think that the USA seem to be they're definitely stronger in the field than they are with the bat.
Yeah.
They've got a few, absolute kind of balkers in terms of batting, but also they have been playing in the US, and as we know, those pitches were very bowler friendly, so now they're in the Caribbean.
Yeah, they did play a couple of games in Lauderhill, I think, which were the games they won, scored runs in. They didn't have to play in New York all that much as it happened. Struggled against India, but even so put up a decent fight. But if they are going to get these, I think it's these 2 batsmen are going to have to do the bulk of it. It's the man with the highest score in the tournament so far, Aaron Jones, come into bat. Oh no, not quite second highest. He defends that first ball up to mid-off, there's no run.
I don't know about you, but I'm not sure about all of this talk of South Africa as the kind of people to beat in the tournament. I've heard a lot and read a lot recently that people are saying, oh well, they should definitely win this and it's theirs to lose and all that sort of thing.
You mean this match, not the tournament?
Oh no, I mean the tournament. I
haven't heard anybody say that, but yes, I agree.
There was a piece in the Guardian, like a couple of days ago, and a lot of people on the BBC are saying that they're the ones to look at to win, which I completely don't agree with. I'm
No.
with you. I don't think that's true at all. But I just think I don't know where it's kind of come from.
No, people like to get on the bandwagon and pick a bit of a dark horse. That one pops a little bit up to Jones, who manages to play it out into the offside. But look, it's a thing you do in professional journalism. You try to you try to pick someone who's not that obvious.
And big them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and big them up, exactly, yeah. Rabada's done well so far, 2 for 6 for him. That's the end of the power play, 53 for 2.
Farol, not surprisingly, he's bigging up Bangladesh.
Oh, well, why not, yeah.
And there's also support from Bangladesh from the next year on YouTube as well. Mayank says, what beach you're at? Talking to Brian Barish about his very nice picture of a beach earlier. That was New Jersey, I think.
Somewhere in New Jersey, yep.
Yeah. And he also says that Jansen needs to F off today. He's been awful. I think that's a bit harsh, but he's certainly been targeted.
I thought he did quite well in his second over, actually. Right, we're going to see some spin. That's going to be the man who's brought into the team today. Left arm spinner. Fortunately for him, because his right hand is looking like he's already wearing a batting glove, strapped up so much. That one is punched past point. They should get a couple here. Yes, they do.
Nicely played out, just enough to beat the man at point.
I mean, you see bowlers with strapped fingers quite a lot, but that's a lot, and it almost looks like one of those fingers is completely bent inwards.
Well, I mean, you end up with fingers like mine.
Oh, you sure do.
I've got kind of, well, my middle finger actually sort of bends round and
in unpleasant ways. Yes, I used to push the single up to long off. I used to play with a guy who's passed sadly, but he was still playing in his 70s, and goodness me, one of his hands was all sorts of angles.
Yeah. On a much lower level.
Well, the ball hurts just as much, unfortunately. Well, maybe it's not going so fast, but it gets you on a cold, wet day. That one's punched out to cover for no run. Jones is being a bit circumspect to start with, not off 4. Maharaj comes in again. That's well bowled. He just put it, and it's out. In fact, no one seemed. De Kock just threw the ball up in a rather lazy kind of way. Jones, indeed, was a bit of a lazy shot. He just went forward and had a bit of a swish without fully committing. Got the thinnest of edges, and he's gone for naught. That's a big blow for the US.
Yeah, I mean, now
You
you're kind of
silly
wondering.
little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
That's a no foot, sort of hands and arms.
Waft, yeah, and it was actually quite a significant edge, and that's probably the US will feel that was their trump card,
That's
gone for
their
naught.
game, probably.
Yeah.
No, the rest of the team is going to have to play out of their skins now to get 120 in 13 overs.
Yeah, nice bit of bowling from Maharaj. He played 2 off the back foot. He just pitched it up a little bit more, brought him forward, got the edge. Well, here's a man with a lot of experience and a lot of weight to put behind the ball, at least.
Where are you? You're there.
Corey Anderson used to play for New Zealand, but greener pastures in the US cold, so he plays for the 70.
Battle March of the Republic, I do believe.
Yeah, and what is Maharaj doing? He's doing some kind of heads and shoulders, knees and toes, except not going all the way down.
I had quite a fun conversation with my little brother about Corey Anderson yesterday. It was really funny. He said, "Oh, he looks really, really American," and I was like, "He's from New Zealand."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I don't remember that." And I was like, "You probably are a bit too young to remember him actually playing for New Zealand."
Well, blink and you missed it, basically. Probably.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he was only about 7 at the time, so I'll forgive him.
He does look like a bit of a slugger, to be fair.
Yeah. He does enjoy a bit of the sort of American lifestyle now.
Maharaj has got a slip in. Anderson goes back and tips it round to backward square, and a quicker man might have got 2, but that's just 1. Another look at that one again. It was you just think, where was that ball going to go if he hit it? Nowhere.
You just leave it, don't you?
He's trying to play the glide down to third man, but it's just played very
I'm
badly.
not even sure he is. You wouldn't play that off the front foot, would you? That was played back to the bowler for no run, but it is hard to say what he actually was trying to do with it. But that's a successful over for Maharaj, 1 for 4, and it's 57 for 3, I think.
I mean, that's certainly one of those wickets that, like, as the bowler, you just kind of go, oh, well, that's an absolute gimme. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I doubt that Maharaj was expecting that to happen, you know?
Oh, you should always
From
make
that
it
ball.
make it look as if you were.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I was never very good at that. I was often the sort of person that I would just openly laugh and kind of go, well, that was a crap ball. How have you got out to that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
also
it's not
good
going to
net.
get any easier now with this man coming into the attack for South Africa. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are.
If your number one project is to have yourself a bride, I think I've got to your number one guy. He was bought by a franchise when he was by.
Left alone and over the stumps, left that one on length, Anderson.
It's unbelievable, okay.
And it's a measure of how T20 cricket has changed, that no one raises an eyebrow when the quickest bowler comes on in the 8th over.
It's very much a theme nowadays to have one of your better bowlers in the middle overs.
Certainly one of your quicker bowlers, yes. Mark Wood does it for England. Cummins does it for Australia.
Yep.
Not gears in again. Anderson's down the track and has got a bottom edge on it. De Kock picks it up and there's no run.
Harris Raff did it for Pakistan. He doesn't really like the new ball. He always tend to end up bowling after the power play.
Wasn't he pictured or filmed fighting with a fan quite recently?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that, yeah.
Not a great look.
No.
57 for 3 in the 8th. Target of 195 for the US. Had a good start. They lost a couple of wickets. Anderson has punched that one into the ground. He'll get a single up to mid-off.
Has the ground submitted yet? Was it going to require 2 rolls?
Was it what, sorry?
Has the ground submitted yet? Is it knockout or?
Has what submitted yet?
The ground to Hansen punching it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just could not quite figure out what
He's having a wrestle
what
with
you
it.
were saying there.
Yeah.
See what Notkier can do to Goose, who's on 20 off 16. Coming in over the wicket to the right-hander. Into the pads. It's flipped into the leg side. They'll get at least 1. Yeah, Anderson is not going to be hurrying through for too many 2s.
Love Northgear's run up.
Like me, I think Anderson has a turning circle of a super tanker nowadays.
Yeah.
That one that got stuck in the Suez Canal.
The evergreen.
Yeah.
I think that's that's a replay. Almost got me, ICC. Almost got me. Here comes Nortier. Pulled by Anderson. It wasn't a good ball, but he's unfortunately hit it straight to long leg, and it'll just be a single. So South Africa seem to have got on top of things here after the power play. A wicket towards the end of that power play, then a wicket for Maharaj in the next over.
And we should see Shamsi fairly shortly as well, and that'll make life even harder.
And you've got to figure that, well, one more wicket. I'm not sure the USA have any batsmen capable of getting the quick 50 at least that they need here. Notkier's in again, and Anderson again has gone for the pull, but he's almost periscoped that one. Got it on the bottom of the bat, Goose, sorry. And it's just dropped down to De Kock's no run, and Notkier, that over has only gone for 3.
Talking about the mighty Tigers, or Tigers on YouTube earlier, Leah has just sent us an early mock-up of their crest of the board with a Tigger from
Winnie the Pooh.
Rupert the Bear.
No, Winnie the Pooh. He's not Rupert the Bear.
It's all of 2 minutes in GIMP apparently on YouTube.
We need to make that font bigger, don't we?
Yeah. Paul Coffey says, "Can't believe I'm barracking for the USNA."
Well, lesser of two evils sometimes, isn't it? Maharaj continues, and Anderson plays that one down to backward point for a single.
Yeah, this has early warnings of being a bear game now.
Yeah, possibly. Well, South Africa will want to put together a decent margin of victory as well, because run rate might come into play. Tossed up again by Maharaj. Goose goes back though and plays it out to point on the other side because he's right-handed, and it's another single.
I don't know, Will. I think the idea from Maharaj is to bowl as slow as he can get away with on this pitch and make the US of A put all the effort into the ball.
And then you just, because you know that the worst you're going to get is sort of a run of ball, and then you've got a very, very solid victory. And
back goes Anderson, pulls it up to long on. There'll be another single. Yeah, the last ball 49 miles an hour, which is very slow for a spinner, particularly a finger spinner.
Yeah. Kind of these pitches haven't been this slow, so that is definitely kind of on purpose.
Down the track goes Goose, but he rather gets the bottom of the bat down to fine leg. It goes through for a single, and we're just not seeing a lot of boundary intent or maybe capability from the US at the moment, and they're going to need some boundaries, because if a few overs tick through at 5 or 6, they're going to be way behind.
Yeah. Don't know.
Goes for the reverse. Anderson, he could be in trouble. It's hit him in front. It might be going down past what was originally off stump, I think.
Yeah, that Maharaj is indicating that that's his arm ball. That was going straight on.
Yeah.
To just slide past off stump.
But yeah, when the batsman goes for a reverse like that and it's fired in full, the umpire's always in play. He didn't quite get the line right. See what he does with this one. Just punches it up to long off for a single. But yeah, Anderson, you could see he had to try something different. He knows that. And that's going to be the end of the over. And South Africa successfully putting the squeeze on USA here.
Ravi Natarajan says, the USA team is who we thought they were. Associate team. You can sit down now. That's a bit harsh.
It is a bit harsh. I think all this stuff about test teams and associate teams is bollocks. They're all just teams. We need to get rid of these distinctions.
I genuinely think everyone should be able to play tests.
Well, this isn't even a test
if
match.
They want.
Yes, I agree. If they can afford it, which is the other thing. But plus, this isn't even test matches. I know there's full members as well. It's all bollocks. It's just a club. It's just gatekeeping.
Yeah.
But I will say that also feel exactly the same applies to counties and first class.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the whole all that bollocks about them trying to cut it down to 8 first class counties now, or something.
That's a new one. I bet that boiled a bit of piss.
Like
Anderson's got hold of that one though, and he's finally got one away. Well done to him. He's got that for 6 over square leg. Hit it quite flat.
Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air. Legs moving side to side. Smack it in the air. Smack it in the air.
Maximum.
Badly needed, but he managed to get quite a bit of that. 84 metres 6.
That's not going to encourage Nortje to bowl pace on to him, though, is it?
No, but like I say, they really needed something, the US. And they're going to need a good few more of those. Going to have a change at the end of the over. Oh, it's 9 point. We've got 4 balls.
Yeah.
Run rate required 11.6. Nortje is full and bowls him. Too quick for Anderson, and the leg stump is uprooted. It wasn't quite a Yorker, but it was full enough. Anderson moved his toe out of the way, and perhaps should not have done so because it might have pitched outside leg. Instead, his leg stump was sent cartwheeling back.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Bit of a case of that's what you get for hitting a 6, Will.
Yeah. That is the most... That is, as a bowler, that's just exactly what you want to do after someone knocks you back over your head.
Yep.
I do love those ones where the other bail actually stays on.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Yeah.
It's just really really pleasing in sort of. It also just means that you've got your sort of your lines so bang on.
Clean on the stump. Yeah. Now, for some reason only known to this tournament, when there's a wicket in the 10th over, you don't take the opportunity for a drinks break. We're going to have one after 3 balls instead. And the new batsman is Jahangir.
Who is not on the card.
Yeah, some of them aren't for some of the teams. Let's see if he can show us why he should have a jingle. Cheyenne Jahangir coming in at 6. And USA, that rate is creeping towards 12 and over. It's 71 for 4 in the 10th. Chasing, I think, 195 to win this game. He's going to face up to Nort Kia, who goes full again, hits him in front. It may have got an inside edge on that. May also been angling down the leg side. Yeah. But South Africa generally looking pretty calm. It hasn't always been the case in this tournament.
Is this sort of a case for sort of how quickly can South Africa get them out, or are they just going to sort of grind that run rate down?
Well,
what do you think?
Either way, they want to get that margin of victory as big as possible. It's not for them to just cruise through here. It's quite important to get a 60 or 70 run win if they can. That one's out to cover and there's no run.
Yeah, I won't lie. I have no idea what's going on with the run rate thing at the moment. It's sort of so confusing and mathsy.
Well, it'll all become clear when you get to the last game.
Yeah.
But it's always possible in this group that the USA could lose all their games and the other 3 teams all beat each other, and then it would be a 3-way run rate battle.
Yeah.
It's also possible in the other group, but it's unlikely.
Less likely in the other group, I think. Not Kia to finish the 10th over. It's short. Maybe a little bit slower, actually. Jahangir let it go. It is going to be a wide for height.
Wide.
So last ball of the 10th over coming up. Another 123 needed to win, and I think the worst thing for the US is the majority of their batting is back in the hutch. Jahangir does get a pull on that one. It's going to go out to deep mid wicket. Should just be 1. That's going to be... De Kock scurries in to pick up the throw. That's the end of our little spell. Thank you, Will. See you again soon.
See you soon. Just before I go, are we doing tonight's game, the England game?
Yes, if you want to help out, I'm sure it would be appreciated if you can let us know.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure whether it was us or the Aussies that was doing it, because they've been doing most of the night games. But yeah. Anyway, see you later. Bye.
Hello, Messi. Thanks for letting me know on that.
Hi, Bennett.
Hello, welcome back, peeps.
It's all gone a bit pear-shaped since we were last on, Bennett.
Oh, it has. I've managed to get a couple of unders in, even though they're only offering me 10 or 11 runs. So I'm quite happy. I've got another one in now. I've got 10 runs left to play with. They're not offering you a lot, but I suddenly think this could be... This is it. You can see it can't.
Ugly.
Yeah, it could get ugly. Very much so.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Jones going out early was a sort of bit of a blow, wasn't it? I mean, and then Corey Anderson's not looking like the Anderson we knew was playing for the Kiwis.
Well, that's not surprising. He's playing for America. He's, what, 39 now?
Yeah. Such glimpse of it with that 6, but certainly. I remember him playing some really good knocks and with the ball as well for New Zealand. Unfortunately, it's a shadow of himself.
Who came in at number 5? Was that Corey Anderson came in at 5?
Hang on, I shall tell you.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
was
Yes, it
correct.
is.
So who's now in?
Cheyenne Jung-hee.
And Aaron Gauss. And
Andres Goose is still in, isn't he? Yeah.
No, he's not Goose, he's Gauss.
Gauss. Well, we're calling him Goose because it just works, because it's American, it's Top Gun, and it's, you know. The Goose.
I wonder how many of them are actual Americans in there. I don't see anyone.
Well, no. They're either West Indian or Indian or Pakistani of heritage, aren't they? But, you know. They've all probably lived in the States a long time, consider themselves, well, clearly American, although a lot of the West Indian guys still have quite broad West Indian accents. And
well, Goose is actually South African.
Well, there you go.
Well done. Well spotted.
They are a nation of immigrants, although they don't like them at the moment, clearly, much like here. Although I was just reading an article saying that the Tories will reduce to 52 seats. Oh, fuck, I would love that. Boy, would I love that.
Oh, dear.
Booted out.
So the big question is there going to be a guerrilla election night coverage?
Well, that's off the pads down towards the man on the 45. There's an appeal from Maharaj. I think he's probably missing leg. They won't bother to review it. He's bowling tight on that leg stump, or trying to. 73 for 4 to 10.1 overs. Tossed up. Ooh, little bit of turn, and eyes lit up from Jahangir, but went through to the keeper. No run. Could have been out. Stumped. Could have been out. Caught. Could have gone for 6, but it did none of the things above. That one's chipped up, surely. There's no fucking mid-wicket. Of course there isn't. So I'll get a poxy easy single out towards long on.
So, Bear, what happens with this Super 8s then? So is it the top 2 then play in the semis, or
Yep.
from both schools?
Presumably top
Yes,
of Group 1
yes.
plays second of Group 2 and vice versa.
That's correct, yeah.
That's correct.
That's
Messi,
exactly how
okay.
it works.
Which could lead to an obviously India-Australia final. That one's tossed up outside the off stump, driven out to the deep. It'll be a single.
So is it like the IPL where you, I mean, the top 2 still have a
No.
chance to make amends? They can still come
No,
back?
no, they don't have any of that.
Knockouts.
It's strict semi-final, final.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I found the IPL a lot more. I know you guys, some of our listeners, not into IPL, but I found the IPL a lot more interesting than the World Cup. Sorry.
Cut.
Oh, well, I
And there's
find exactly the reverse. I got
Exactly the
really
reverse for me as well. The IPL was as fucking dull as dishwater, man.
Yeah, but in terms of the games, they were a lot more intense, closer games, keen tussle.
Well, no, they weren't. What are you on about?
I don't
Tossed
agree at
up.
all.
Yeah, I was going to say tossed up and then just driven back over the bowler's head for a single. The last 3 games are
Didn't have a
complete
single
fucking
super over.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly that. They didn't have a
Yeah,
single
but it
super.
was a lot
The last
closer than
3
the games,
games
yeah.
were absolute batterings. It was
Yeah.
boring as hell.
But in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it, I mean, Bear and I never agree on anything, do
No,
we? Have you
that's
ever agreed
true.
on anything, Bear? That's really nice. I like that.
Occasionally we must have agreed on something, but very rarely.
But still, it was a little bit more closer, I would have thought. Anyway,
No, bollocks. That's all I can say to that. I found our man Cheyenne Jahangir.
All right.
I'm not going to play his jingle now. I'll let you. What were you going to say?
Okay. Well, I was going to say that as far as the IPL was concerned, all those short grounds, flat pitches,
Impact subs.
and huge hits hitting, impact subs are an aberration, absolute aberration. I just found it just wasn't nearly as compelling as the tight game.
Oh, that's got to be out. Surely, Tramsy is in first ball and he bowls one. I've got another under. He bowls one. He's a left arm googly. I mean, off spinner. I mean, leggy,
like
obviously.
the way Bear balls, right?
Yeah, I mean they're thinking about reviewing this, but it's pitched on middle and off straight, and it's going on to hit middle stump. Goose tells him to review, but I think that is a waste of review. I'm going to play his jingle because.
Well, he's only reviewing because Joel Wilson is the third upper.
Yeah, but unfortunately Joel Wilson has technology in this instance. I'm going to say that's as fucking plumb as plumb can be. I'm going to tell him.
LB.
Oh, that's plumb.
LB.
Unless he's hit that. That is fucking plum ass.
Struck in front of the stumps. LBW.
That's an LBW. That's right. It's missed the bat. It's pitched on middle and off. It's straightened. It's going on to hit middle and leg.
Middle leg, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, outside a middle stump. There you go. Whew. That was a shitty review, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
But I got another wicket. Yeah. So after a poor start,
you're happy.
I'm dragging it all back.
Excellent. Well done. There's a shout. Martley says guerrilla election coverage is a good shout. You're not just going to stick with elections that Labour loses, are you? Because that's your record so far.
No,
definitely got to do election.
No. I mean, the thing is, it's generally Sherwood or it was Knackle who sort of powered on to do the elections. I'm not interested in doing an election night. I don't want to sit here for 8 hours. I mean, it'll be pretty obvious at the exit poll at 11 o'clock, and I'll watch it for a couple of hours because it'll be fun. And it'll be fun if a couple of the big guns get booted out. Although, you know, the fun's been taken out of it because they're all fucking resigning, aren't they? I mean, Michael Gove's not going to be booted out because he's not going to be standing. Jeremy Hunt might get booted, which would be fun. Penny Mordaunt might get booted. It'd be very much fun if Rishi Sunak got booted. But we'll have to wait and see. Next man in is Harmeet Singh, who we do have a jingle for because I pulled it out earlier. There he is. In at number 7. And he will have a jingle that we played after this one that he bunts up to mid-off for 1 run. It goes like this.
Now you're messing with Harmeet Singh. Messing with Harmeet. Now you're messing with Harmeet Singh. Messing with Harmeet.
What's the score? That was tossed up outside off stump, driven over the top of extra cover. It's probably going to get 4 runs. Yeah, terrible bit of fielding by Marco Jansen. Fortunately, I didn't press go on the are you going to take the under for the next run?
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
That was tossed up too wide for the off stump, and therefore no run. 4 runs. Too far to go down for Marco Jansen. Was it Jansen or Norkia?
Jansen.
Yeah, it was Jansen. I thought so. So they got away with it. Driven up to long off. 1 more run. Got under 90.5. Christ, they're giving me like 9 runs now. Goose is still there. The opener.
Going strong. I mean, they had such a wonderful start, didn't they, the Americans?
Well, yeah, I mean, there is only 2 fielders out and there's a bit of pace. That's down the leg side and it's hauled around the corner. Should be 4 runs, it is. It's a poor ball from Jamsey. And they'll get 4 more.
Now my innings going. Great guns. I hit the ball. 4 runs. I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
We should be in the biffers though now, aren't we, really?
Yeah, Harmeet Singh looks quite decent. He bowled really well too. 2 wickets, decent sort of.
No, he must be able to hold a bat. I presume he's at number 7, but
6.
But that's drilled up to long on. It'll just be the 1 run. But this game's done already. I mean, there's no way they're getting over 100 runs in 8 overs with 5 wickets in hand. Yeah.
If Jones and the other guy, Anderson, was batting.
And this, I mean, I guess this is the problem of America playing. I mean, I guess whilst we all had fun watching the New York cricket, it was much more of a leveller than was probably fair. In terms of the pitch, really was harsh for batsmen.
Yeah. The Jersey Jingler, Xenopil, says, please stop slating foreigners for playing for the USA. We truly are a nation of immigrants. I will be super proud to represent this country. As for England, Trott, Peterson, Morgan, Curran, Archer, Jordan, Stokes, Hussain, Salt. I could go on.
Yeah, I know. All very
Quite
true.
well made.
Yeah.
Josie Oak says, evening, USA are doomed. So no election guerrilla coverage. He's disappointed too. It's going to be a hung parliament for Labour. I'm calling it now. That's Mike. Mike is the ultimate pessimist.
He is.
It's going to be a roaring majority for Labour.
It is indeed. That's a pull ball tossed up well outside the off stump. They got back for 2. I've got no runs to play with.
Bear, I've been involved with associate cricket when I was in Hong Kong, and I know how the funding works from the ICC. So for US to get into the Super 8s, they must be getting quite a lot of money coming their way.
Well, they get automatic qualifications for the next tournament
Yes,
as well,
indeed.
don't they?
And I think that's sort of been a hallmark.
Oh, well, that's
It's
it.
been
It's
an
a
achievement.
It has been an achievement. That one is played up too long, and it'll be a single.
Think about it. I mean, the likes of New Zealand didn't make it. The likes of Pakistan, Sri Lanka, to a lesser extent, and then here we are. US and West Indies were not even in the rankings, were they, beforehand, with the 50 overs and everything. So it's been I like to see an intense battle towards the end of the tournament. Let's see.
That's smashed out towards long on. It's going to be 6 runs. Good shot by Harmy, and they motor along.
Nice.
Harmy's looking quite promising. I like the way he's batting there. Quite sort of a attacking batter, and he's got some nice shots. Looks like he's playing well within himself, not just hiking things away.
No, batting freely.
Decent bowler as well. Yes. Steady.
Maharaj around a wicket. That one has just dropped into the offside. I'll go for a single.
And again, good thinking. A 6 didn't really get him to whack the next ball as well, rotating the strike. Good head on his shoulder he's got, this young boy, Harmit.
Yeah, he has indeed. Sorry, got to reply to my wife.
Yes,
around the wicket, clipped into the leg side, out towards wide, long on. It'll be 1. It might come back for 2. Nope. Wondering what we're having for dinner.
It's the end of the over, Messi.
Okay, thank you. Going back to some of the discussion we were having about various qualifications and so on, Pirate Badger says, bring back the Intercontinental Cup, the best first-class comp the world has ever seen, bar none. Yeah, it's a huge loss, the Intercontinental Cup, in my view. As is the ODI World Cup qualifying process that used to be in place. The ODI League is no longer. Muttley says, I miss the T20 Champions League, where they had like the top 2 domestic teams from each test playing nation all in one league. I think there were only 4 contestants in the end for that.
Driven up towards long on for a single.
So, Bear, out of the associate teams, which was the team that really most caught your attention?
What, that played in this tournament?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to say the Americans, because they've done it. I mean, they actually did something useful. The Netherlands and Namibia were the same as usual. They have flashes of thing, but they're never quite strong enough. Scotland, I thought, were really competitive, actually.
Yes, I thought they were very good.
Down the leg side, and there's no run. I mean, let's face it, they scored 180 odd against Australia, which is not a bad tick. And okay, they didn't have Pat Cummins, and who else did they rotate out? But Nathan Ayres. It was Hazelwood, wasn't it? Hazelwood and which is a big thing. That's played up towards long on. They head off for a single, and there's no run. But Nathan Ayres and Mitchell Stark coming back in. It's not an easy ride for them.
I think they were very unlucky to be in the group they were in, to be honest. I think they would have got through most other groups.
I don't know about that. They were always going to come up. Well, they might. Yeah, I mean, if they've been in a group with, I don't know, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, well, that was in that one group, wasn't it? They might have had a chance there.
I agree.
That's played out towards mid-wicket, and there is no run.
Did the US play Scotland? Anyone remember?
No, they didn't play Scotland. They weren't in the same group.
They weren't in the same group.
They weren't. That would have been an interesting game. I'd like to see what would have been the outcome of that.
But they were confident. I mean, Ireland disappointed me, I have to say. That's played up towards long off, and there's no one. I mean, their cricket has really stalled. They've got some good players, but they just don't get it together anymore. I think Sterlo did fuck all as per normal. He never does anything when I watch. Balburney's pretty pokey to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he never does anything when I see him.
Well, Ireland are very lucky that Scotland didn't qualify, because it means they'll probably automatically qualify for the next World Cup, which will be based on the rankings at the end of this month. But
Okay.
probably will sneak in, and Scotland won't.
But on the other hand,
down
I
to
think
long on for a single.
Afghanistan, sorry, Bear, Afghanistan, that's the end of the over as well. Afghanistan, they do have a side that can upset big teams. I know they didn't play well in the last outing, but I like to see them doing well.
Yes, I mean, they certainly have. I mean, you've got to say the same thing with Afghanistan that you always say is they've got potential. Their batting has to hold up. You know, they certainly can bowl sides out with Rashid Khan and Majib and no, exactly that. So they've got a good bowling attack. And the question is, on the day, does their batting hold up? I mean, they did all right in the ODI World Cup, didn't they? I mean, they
did.
They managed to get those scores. And they've got a couple of explosive guys at the top. Rashid Khan can hit sixes lower down. You know, there's potential there. They're just not consistent enough with the bat. Certainly more than they used to be. Nortje's back into the attack. He's bowling to Harmeet, who tries to cut one that's way too close to him. Goes through to the keeper and is near on.
Having lived in Canada, where I've seen the vast amount of Asian population, Caribbean population, likewise in the US, the amount of facilities, the open space, and the interest in cricket, this will be a great kind of a result. The US coming into the Super 8s, where we'll see a lot more people playing cricket, even the Americans who probably follow the cricket if things go well, which is a good thing for the game.
Yeah, indeed.
It's pushed towards a mid-wicket.
Yeah, it's pushed out towards the mid-wicket by Harmeet. Got himself a single. Sorry,
And I think that would be one of the key priorities for ICC and stroke BCCI. Just getting more viewers, probably lots of advertising, stroke, business opportunities, I guess, to expand the game if there are more viewers there, which is a great. I mean, lots of other private sort of corporates and entities have tried to promote the game there. It didn't really work.
Yeah, what, in America you mean? That's full, driven up towards long on. Ooh, mid-on is in the circle and he can't quite get across. I can only tip it around a post all the way down to the boundary though. It's going to be 4 runs.
Who do you think the top 4 will qualify then, Bear, to the semis?
Well, this is it. I think it'll be Australia and India for that group. I think this group is a bit of a lottery, really. That's what I was saying to you earlier. I think tonight's game is really important. I think if whoever wins tonight's game gets a bit of an easier ride. That's Hoik. Has he got enough on that? Oh, he has, because mid-on's up, of course. It did plug a little bit in the outfield, but they'll get back for 2.
Nick Vickers says hello to us all. He says this round is probably bridged too far for the Americans, but they deserve their place in Super 8s. And don't forget, Scotland also knocked off 90 runs for no wickets and 10 overs against England.
They did, but I mean, everyone says that, and England would have lost, etc., etc. But you look what England did to Oman. How many they scored in 10 overs? I still think that people.
He's not saying they would have won necessarily.
Well, yeah, I know exactly, but there was a lot of
creditable.
There was a lot of sort of. Oh, that's 6. That's a horrible full toss that's been bashed back over the bowler's head by Goose, and I think he's going to get. Is that his 50?
It's got his 50, I think.
Yeah, well batted, Goose.
No, it's no. That takes him to 47.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's play a jingle. I thought it was on 47 before.
Exactly, that's what I thought as
well. No, it was on 41 before.
Okay.
I just saw it turn over.
Okay, well spotted again. Yeah, I mean, he started quite slow, didn't he? He slowly accelerated, slowly changed gears, and looking good.
Yeah,
I like
looking
that.
good.
That's Opener's job.
Well, it is. I think he's got to go on at a slightly quicker rate than this. At the end of this over, we're going to have a little switcheroo, aren't we? Andy, you're going to take us through to the end.
Yeah, we've got a super chat too.
Oh, we've got a super chat.
Ian Southcote want to send us $19. Thanks for the great commentary. Celebrating Juneteenth here in the States. What a tournament for the USA. Still can't believe the win over Pakistan. Thank you so much, Ian. You're wonderful to have your support. That's another 6.
It is another 6. We'll give it one of these.
2, 4, 6.
And one of these.
Drawn out grinds and flashing cameos. Quite accumulation that just grows and grows. Plucky or lucky, inducing reverie. These are a few types of half century.
Well, 19 off that over from Nort Kia.
Time for a change.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Bennett. Thanks, Jez.
See you all
See you
later.
again soon. Shamsi has 2 overs left. I wonder if he's going to bowl both of those. I think he probably will. They got that 1 over in from Markram, so they've got 1 over up their sleeve.
They have indeed.
And Shamsi's coming into bowling to Harmeet, who scoops that 1 over mid-wicket. Is it over the boundary? It sure is.
Ooh.
That's 3 6s in a row off
The number
different
of
overs.
the day really pops and kicks. The number of the day is 666.
Certainly giving the fans something to cheer about.
That they are.
Can they actually do this? Can they pull this back? No, but 3 6s in a row will make you twitch a little bit in the outfield.
What have they got to get? 5 overs to get
I think about
70.
70 from here. 67 off 29. Yeah, Shamsi's in again. He's gone again. Harmeet, he hasn't got all of it. It's 1 bounce in front of the fielder. And they'll get through for a single.
Now I've got 10 to 1 on the run out. If this goes to the last ball, I think I might be in.
Okay. But
if they don't spoon it into the outfield,
that's your problem. A catch might be quite likely. But both these batsmen finding the boundary, which is what really helps for the USA. They can't really tie up one end. Shamsi now with a problem or two to solve. Steps away, Goose, then steps back and punches it over the bowler's head. Is he going to get 4 for that as well? Yes, he is.
Word. Well, well, well. This could be comeback city.
Now my innings going. Great guns. I hit the ball. 4 runs. I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
He's South African, Goose? Is that what we were saying earlier?
Originally, I think.
Don't know, yeah. But goodness me, yes, that's, well, let me work this out. 23 off the last 5 balls by
Well,
my
this is not in
calculation.
South Africa's plans for a positive net run rate.
No, and it ends up with Shamsi chucking it a mile down the leg side, and the batsman again has clipped it out to deep square, when with a little bit of thought he might have just stood inside it for a wide.
Have another ball.
61 off 26 required. They're just keeping themselves interested just a little bit. There's 24 off 13 from Harmeet. It's been a real bonus.
Yeah.
He's on strike again to Shamsi. Shamsi bowling to the left-hander. And he clumps it up to mid-on, but that should just be a single.
Yeah, Shamsi's decided he's not going to put anything in their half particularly anymore.
Yeah, he's going to bowl flat.
Yeah.
And then punch it up to long off and long on for singles all day long.
Gives South Africa a bit of a problem. They're going to have to find 1 more over from either Nortkier or Shamsi, and they've both been pumped in the last 2.
Well, yeah, pace on. It's batsmen like it, don't they?
Yeah. Well, Goose, he's had a terrific World Cup. He's on 58 not out of 35. He's closing in on being the top scorer in the competition, at least for the moment. Last ball of Shamsi's over, tossed up, and he plays it out to point. The fielder fumbles it, should get through for 1 there. Yes, they did. So Shamsi got out of the over with 3 singles in the end. In fact, it was a dot. They didn't even get through there, and it's the 60 needed from 4 overs.
Have we had the one from Daniel O'Sullivan saying cricketing, non-cricketing countries looks exactly like this? I've played in a few countries, and generally it's predominantly South Asian, with a few odd Australian and South who wanders in, occasionally a baffled local.
It can be, yes.
He also says, for that reason I have no problem with the makeup of associate teams, because this is how cricket looks very often. The World Cup is a huge success if it has mobilised the various diasporas in the United States.
Well, that's a big ask. I mean, it's all very well saying it's going to get people playing cricket. What do you live in Butte, Montana? There isn't going to be a cricket ground for 500 miles.
Indeed. I'm just trying to find out if he played any Well, what he played in South Africa before he...
Probably various, under 19 and provincial stuff. It's usually the way. Beautiful shot of the ocean in Antigua and or Barbuda. But
yeah, he played South Africa under 19s.
Right, Rabada's going to come back, and he's bowled 2 overs for 6, so he's going to bowl round the wicket. It's a horrible full toss. That must be a no ball. You can only imagine that slipped out of his hand. It is a no ball. I'm surprised the batsman couldn't get anything on it. But it'll have a free hit now, though.
Been some quite scruffy cricket in the last 2 or 3 overs by.
Yeah, they were really untidy against Nepal, and they just scraped over the line. Rabada's in again. It's full. It's got an edge, bottom edge on it. It's just gone to short fine leg for a single. 137 for 5, and those hopes of an early finish and a decent run race booster for South Africa have receded, and now they're just thinking about winning the game now.
Well, exactly. I mean, if they win this by 20 runs, it's not going to be the victory they'd have wanted, is it?
It's also not the end of the world. But
no, but
because there's no guarantee that USA won't do this to another team.
Yep.
In the 2 remaining games.
Here comes Rabada again. It's wide. It's cut. It's going to go out to deep cover. It should just be the one. Fielder is in. De Kock didn't really like the throw very much. 138 for 5. He had a good start, the USA. They were 50 for 1 after 5. South Africa nipped in with a couple of wickets, and we thought they were all done, but this pair have just kept their toe in the door.
Well,
just about.
Harmy picked it up pretty much as soon as he came in, didn't he?
Yep. He's now on strike, and he's whacked that one over cover, and that's going to be 4 more.
Finding the gaps.
Yeah.
He played... let's give me a jingle, hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is it Harmeet Singh who played under 19s in India?
I think so, yeah. Certainly had plenty of space. It wasn't a very smart ball from Rabada. Plenty of space as soon as he put it over cover's head, he was in the ring. And a nice free swing on that one.
Hitting boundaries for fun. 15 balls gone for 39 runs. That'll get them over the line.
It'll keep them in it. Rabada's a bit slower and shorter, and Singh just flaps at it a little bit. Goes out to point for a single. Yeah, if they got 40 off the next 16, they'd need 12 off the last 4.
Should be an interesting finish.
It would be.
And 31 off 18 is pretty good going.
It's great going.
Goose is 59 off 37. He started off quite slow, but he certainly picked it up.
Well, I said this before, but a wicket, and surely they wouldn't have too much more batting, but I didn't know about Harmeet. Maybe they've got someone else in the shed I don't know about.
Well, often these sides are kind of made up a journeyman, isn't they? They can do a bit of both, and they're quite capable of hitting. They don't have so many specialists as such.
All the same, just the one boundary in this over so far from Rabada, and that's a clever bit of bowling. It's a slower ball. It's right up to the wide line on the off stump, but just inside it. And the batsman just couldn't really do anything with it.
Well, it's very, very slow. I mean, it's 118k, barely 70 miles an hour.
And if Rabada gets through this over for 8 or 9, which he's on at the moment, that's just the over South African, I wouldn't say needed, but it'll help ease their nerves a little bit. That one must be wide, though. That's way outside the guideline. Yep. Just overdid that one a little bit.
Hit this ball for 6 and suddenly they got enough off the over.
I don't know why he's giving the umpire a look. It doesn't really matter how far the batsman stepped across to that one.
Yeah, that was very, very wide.
Seems to feel hard done by there, Rabada. Batsman didn't even step across, he just came forward, and that was almost on the wide line.
Isn't that a no ball if it goes out? No, it's
only if it comes off the pitch. That one is gets a toe of the bat. It was wide again. It's only going to be a single out to cover. 10 from the over, but unfortunately 10 for the USA is not enough, and they need 50 from 18 balls.
And we are tweetless. It's been good by Gauss.
Very
picked
good.
It up nicely.
Yeah,
helped with a couple of sixes in consecutive balls.
60 off 39. It's a great innings.
We'll have the backroom guys in South Africa busy working on their calculators and the stats for the game plans for the 2 remaining games, I think.
Well, yep, I mean, it also factors in if you win or lose a game against one of the other teams, the run margin of that as well.
Yeah.
But this may all be academic. Maybe someone will win all the games and it'll be a 3-2-1-0. But we'll see. It's going to be Shamsi. I think if the USA want any real chance at this, it's got to be this over. They've got to go big this over.
20 off this over.
20, yeah, because they need 50 from 3. Shamsi's bowling his last over. And here he comes, left arm over. It's short and wide, and the batsman be disappointed. That really could have put that anywhere.
He's missed out there. He's just towed it on the bottom end.
Clossed it down to long leg, and it's just a single, but it was really pretty terrible ball. Short wide outside the leg stump, and again, could have had a wide if he wanted. I mean, he should be trying to hit that into the stand. South African bench looking a bit pensive. 49 from 17 required from the USA. They're keeping us interested. And Shamsi moving the field around. He's got 2 sort of short third men. So he comes in, left arm over. It's wide, it turns further wide, should be wide. Is he going to get away with that?
Oh,
Quite a long way
No,
across.
No. I mean, you can take into account going across a bit, but not when you're on the second wide line.
Yeah, exactly.
So, here he is again. That's also wide, and it's really the same ball, turned wider. He may get away with that one.
Yeah, he did.
He did, just. 48 off 16. But is going to be a hard ball to hit for 6. Pitched wide and turning away.
Yeah. You've got to try and play with a spinner, and you're trying to hit it over the covers.
Yeah, it's not the easiest shot when the ball's bouncing and spinning a little bit. Still stopping to have a conversation. Changing the field.
He's probably saying, if you're going to bowl like that, I'm going to reinforce my offside.
I think that's what he's doing, yes. But maybe the bluff is in play and he'll fire this one into the stumps. No, not really. The batsman does get hold of that one. Has he got enough? Yes!
That's a fantastic shot.
Stepped across and clipped it over long on.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
But he's going to need at least one more of them this over. So this is a really good innings from Harmeet. Also bowled very well. 2 for 24 I think he had.
Yeah, I really didn't know he could bat as well.
On strike again, 42 needed from 15. That's some massive wide. That one even pitched wide and then turned wider, and no argument about that one.
He's been got at in the head, I think.
Yeah, he has a bit.
He's lost his cool.
Got to bowl it between the lines, mate. It's not that hard. Here comes again. That would have been wide as well on the bats. They did exactly what the bowler wanted. Just slapped it up in the air, but no one was there because it was straight to mid-off on the circle, and of course long on, long off was back. And with these bigger boundaries, it also means there's bigger spaces in the middle for that kind of shot to fall. So even though the batsman kind of did what the bowler wanted, tried to get under that one, wide of off stump. It wasn't a wicket, but it was only a single. All the same, we've had 10 off full legitimate balls in this over. Now Goose, the right-hander, what can he do? Oh, he's got that one away. Is it far enough over mid-wicket? It is. I think if he split the 2 fielders, a man there would have caught it, but that's what good placement does. 16 with the ball to go. Now if they get a boundary off this one, that's that 20 over you were looking for.
Yeah. Well, they need 18 and over anyway, so...
Yes, but it knocks 1 over off.
Yeah.
And it's not really been a very good over from Shamsi.
No.
He is turning it a bit, so you would rather he pitched it up and challenged them to hit it over long off. Final ball, maybe. Probably will be. Oh, it's short again. It's hit away again.
Go to the man.
Oh, it's over him. It's over him. He didn't go back far enough. Reza Hendricks. He's got a 6. And there you go. 22 off the over, and they're just keeping this alive.
The heist is on. 14 and over now.
It could be, and I think this is underlining Will's point that South Africa have got a chance in this tournament. They're not the best team by a long way.
Yeah. I mean, this is it. Their bowling was very much suited to that wicket that they played on, but their batting's been a bit frail, and they are psychologically fragile. They always have been.
Right. So, Rabada's going to bowl this one. I think that's going to leave Janssen for the last one. Janssen or Nortkier.
I wouldn't go to Janssen.
Well, I wouldn't go Nortkier either, I don't think. 28 needed. What do they... It's always nice if you can get the bulk of it off the 19th.
Yeah.
But I'd say if they got half of these, if they got 14, they'd consider themselves well in the game. Now Rabada is in, right arm round. It's a full toss to start. It's clipped away by Harmeet, but it's straight to the man at deep square leg. Tristan Stubbs punches the air again. I think we know what jingle gets played for that one.
What? This one?
Fuck off!
No.
Just fuck off!
I was thinking shit gets wickets.
Well, okay, yeah, we can play that one.
Shit gets wickets to try and see. A smooth full toss is a guarantee there. Shit gets wickets, obviously. Shit gets wickets, shit gets wickets.
Just didn't get enough elevation on it, did he?
No, it was right there to be hit. It was a full toss on leg stump. That first jingle you played, I came across the source of that the other day. It's not actually the young ones.
Is it Bottom?
No.
It's Steptoe and Son, isn't it?
No, it's still Adrian Edmondson.
It's...
They didn't say fuck much in Steptoe and Son. It was the 60s.
Filthy Rich and Cat Flap?
No.
What was it?
It was Bad News. It was off the Bad News album. I was listening to that the other day.
Christ, the Bad News album.
Yes.
Yes, their version of Spinal Tap.
Yes. Oh, it's different from Spinal Tap, because Spinal Tap is a big band and all the comedy that comes with that, whereas Bad News is a unsuccessful band and all the comedy comes with that. Anyway, back to this game. Rabada bowls a slower ball and it's too good for the new batsman who had a tricky time with the ball, and now he's got to come in and do something with the bat.
It's this man.
I want a bat like Jesse Singh. I want a ball like him. Jesse Singh, often called Jesse Singh. Jesse Singh. Jesse Singh.
Oh, and how disappointed will Harmeet be after batting so well? You got a gimme on leg stump and put it straight to the fielder. Rabada's in again. It's another full toss, but yeah, different class of batting here. He just misses it. And unfortunately, I think the USA's brave chase at this is going to come up short.
Yeah. Shame.
It is. I mean, I thought they were done.
I thought they were done a long time ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
Poor bowling by Saffers, ready to let them back in.
Yeah, not great. Here comes Rabada again. Flicked into the leg side by Jasprit. Hasn't really gone anywhere. Couple of bounces, they should get a single.
Yeah, you look at this bowling attack and Rabada's a different class to almost everybody else.
Yep, Nortkier, as you say, maybe found out a little bit. Now he's not on such helpful wickets.
Well, pace goes. If you get it slightly wrong, it can go. We saw it in the IPL a lot, didn't we?
And they did look quite untidy in a couple of those group games, and seen that here a little bit. Rabada's in again. He's bowling wide. It's a good shot from Goose, who's obviously still there. But it's only gone down to backward point for a single.
Need a 6 off this last ball to take it to 20 off the last over. That's within, Brathwaite territory.
Yeah, well, it's a free hit for Jasprit because he doesn't much want to be on strike for next over anyway. So I suggest he tries to swing off his feet and see what happens.
Aye.
Might get an edge over the keeper.
Yeah, be useful.
well, he gets nothing. There's another slower ball from Rabada. He's threw the shot too early.
Good 19th over.
That's the one that finishes it from Rabada. Even if he was a bit lucky with the wicket, it still only went for 2 runs, and the USA need 26 from the last over to win this game.
Well, net run rate's not going to be fantastic, is it?
No.
No. Mayank says he really wanted USA to win because his bet for Medvedev lost in the tennis, but it's simply too much now, isn't it? I think you're probably right.
Yeah, well, it's possible, but yeah.
They need 32, 31?
26. It says at the bottom of the screen there,
does.
Jace.
I was working that out literally as I was speaking it.
26, so 6 fours won't get them there. So they need at least a 6.
Here's going to be Nortkier for the last over. And with Goose on strike, he's got to do something PDQ.
Wow. He needs to send the first 3 balls for 6 and see how the kittens get in.
Yeah, that's all. No pressure.
No.
Be against the thunderbolts of Nortkier.
If he's got any sense at all, he won't be bowling thunderbolts.
Bowls it into the batsman, steps away, plays it out to cover. It's a bit academic now. They have gone through for a single, which perhaps they shouldn't have done. Or did they decide against? No, they did go through for a single, yeah.
I think he thought he was going to beat the fielder and they'd already set off, didn't he? They were going to try and make 2, but not going to happen.
No. Still, I'll give the USA the respect of going through these last 5 balls with some focus. Nortkier is in again, this time to Jasdeep. He gets it through point. That should just be another single.
Need 4 6s.
That's exactly what they need. And that would take Goose to 99.
Yeah.
That'd be unlucky.
Maybe get a no ball 6 too.
What I'm sure is the South African wives and girlfriends looking fairly relaxed.
Oh, with a very newborn baby there.
Yeah, he was super relaxed, he or she. Into the batsman, steps away, Nortkier gets across and picks it up, and that is the end of the game. Unless there are some no-ball shenanigans. 24 needed off 3.
It's a terrible tash he's got, isn't it?
Yeah, it's poor. Doesn't really go with that flat haircut either.
No. Well, tashes are generally a poor decision.
So Goose is the leading run scorer in the tournament, 177. Well done to him. He's down the wicket again. He gets an edge and goes straight through, I think, Rabada at short third man, who tried to catch it. Probably wasn't a very good idea because those runs might still count, but it's gone for 4.
Just fielded it, let it bounce.
I think he was a bit on his heels there, and a
Yeah.
bit. This game's nearly over. Oh, the ball.
I do like the Jersey Jinglers experience. He says, oh, so close from the USA. It's like you've pulled in the pub, you go to the club, and you're slogging away, getting late, and then she says, I'm just going to the loo, and you never see her again.
Well, tough.
Nortkier's in. It's a full ball. He drops the bat on it. It's going to get down to deep third man. There is a man there, so it's just a single.
And that 80 not out. That's going to do his average pretty well.
Yeah, he's made sure he's got the red inker there.
He's batted very well.
Yeah, because he started quite slowly, didn't he?
He started 28 odd of 25, yeah. There's a lot of wickets falling at the other end. But that partnership between him and Harmeet almost had South Africans worried. They're going to get home by 20 odd runs. Well, maybe even only
less than 20.
Maybe even only 15, yeah.
6 off the last ball. Come on, Jasper.
Well, that will be one for him to take home. Nortkier is going to bowl around the wicket to him. It's a Yorker. He punches it up to long off. To mid-off, sorry. They don't run. And that's the end of it. 176 for 6. The USA are 18 short. Closer than we thought they were going to get at one point.
Yeah, it was good well, as you say, I think we all thought after the crash of wickets in the middle, Corey Anderson and all that, we thought this one's done, and they were going to wipe it all up and finish with a decent big win for South Africa. But they kind of lost their way, didn't they? And Harmeet and Goose decided to hit some shit sixes from pretty poor bowling, it has to be said. And suddenly they were in with a shout, and unfortunately Harmeet was caught in the deep, and that was that.
Well, in a world where man of the match doesn't always go to the winning team, I'd have said Harmeet, but it will go to de Kock.
Yes, of course it will. Yeah, there's no bowler who deserves a man of the match award, is there? So that'll be that.
Well, because Harmeet took 2 for 24 or 4 as well. Yeah,
exactly. Any last tweets?
Nope.
Aaron Jones looking very disappointed.
I think he thinks they had a better than a 0 chance there.
Yeah, and he's obviously, been one of their main men.
And he's probably
he got naught.
Reflecting personally on his performance.
Yeah.
Just thinking if I'd have stuck out there for 5 overs and got a decent lick of run rates, and that at the end might have been different. But that's the way it goes. Right, we're going to nip out now. No much point in talking about this. I'm back here in... What time am I back here? I'm back here
1:30.
for 1:30.
Silly o'clock.
Yeah, so in about 5.5 hours I'll be back on air with you watching England versus the West Indies, which I'm kind of looking forward to, even though it's going to be quite tiring. So I'm going to set that all up, nip home, probably get moaned at by the missus. And
well, you did answer the call, so you will get moaned at
again.
Yeah. So yeah, we're out, and we'll see you in a few hours. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla.
Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and